this time.
A list of donation sites can be found on the Red Cross website. Just use KMOX for the sponsor code. Well, it doesn't take much for us to walk out of a restaurant these days.
A survey by payments platform Lightspeed finds that of 1,000 U.S. diners surveyed, nearly a third have left a restaurant before ordering due to long waits. 1 in 5 have bailed over rude staff, and 24% say they won't return after spotting a dirty menu. Lightspeed Senior Vice President Adonai Rumsides.
As prices have increased, the expectations have increased.
More of us don't mind dining solo.
This year, we saw that 55% of diners say that they dine solo by choice. And that's up from 45% in 2024.
Jennifer Kuiper, CBS News.
Pacific, Missouri is under a boil water order until further notice. Residents and businesses have no water or may have low water pressure at this time. There was a water main break. In Boca Grande, Florida, Sean Muse and his friends were posing with a 6-foot lemon shark they had just caught when
we were taking the hook, and we just finished taking the hook out of his mouth. We were going to go release him, and the shark just turned and bit me.
Muse said from his hospital bed, fortunately, the shark only took a little piece of him. Taking a look at the forecast, the cool down starts after today. So it's still going to be hot today with a high of 94, and temperatures are going to feel like they're around 105 this afternoon. But that heat advisory should end at 8 tonight. We could see a thunderstorm in places this afternoon and maybe a thunderstorm this evening as well. But by tomorrow, partly sunny and humid with a thunderstorm in areas with a high of 88, 84 on Thursday. Right now it's sunny, 85 degrees in downtown St. Louis at 9:03. I'm Debbie Monterey, KMOX News.
This report is sponsored by Metro Transit.
Get a Metro Transit $5 day pass from Metro St. Louis and go anywhere Metro goes, no matter how far or how long, all day long. Super chill, clean, safe, and reliable, not to mention AC and free Wi-Fi. Go to metrostl.org to get your pass today.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, hit it.
Chris, Ranji, Amy, Mark Scores. The Chris and Amy Show.
You know who it is.
Also, if you didn't know, this is called The Show.
On 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Hey, good morning. Tuesday already? Man.
Oh, man.
Look at this week flying by.
I thought it was Wednesday.
Damn it. It did. I felt the exact same way.
That's weird.
I was like, oh, good. It's Wednesday. We're halfway there.
Mm-hmm.
More than halfway there.
It is. I don't want people to get mad, but it's the heat. It's a little heavy. It makes time move more slowly.
Don't worry, though. The heat's going to break in a day or so. We'll be okay.
I think it's supposed to break tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like tonight. They extended it. It was supposed to break today.
All they do is extend heat advisories.
Do you know what I think they did? I think they took the messaging strategy of the COVID people. 2 weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks. That's how long it'll be. Maybe a month. Maybe the 4th of July. That's what they've done with the heat.
Who the hell said 2 weeks?
COVID.
Like that was going to last for 2 weeks?
The shutdown was 2 weeks. That's the most famous thing in the world. How
is
do you
it
not
the most famous
that?
thing in the world?
314-436-7900.
Oh, here we go with the COVID truthers.
I do think sometimes I worry about your mental acuity because there's got to be some.
I promise you that was not the most famous thing about COVID.
Who's back there? No, it is. It's James.
No, it's not. It's for people who are deniers like you.
The most famous thing is that everyone said it would be 2 weeks because I remember thinking, oh man, we're never going to be shut down.
We knew it was going to be 2 weeks. You know how we knew that? Because
Colonel Ripper says most famous.
Well, Colonel Ripper's a psychopath.
No,
I've seen Colonel Ripper watching on YouTube.
This is not a controversy. This is not a liberal or conservative thing. We're gonna shut down for 2 weeks. This is like why all the memes are like, remember when they said it was going to be 2 weeks?
So we knew it wasn't going to be 2 weeks because
I'm taking crazy pills.
In Italy, they were shut down forever before we got shut down. So we knew it was going to be 2 weeks. Yeah, Colonel Ripper's nuts, but we do appreciate him watching on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, and you can comment on all of those, and we'd love to see your comments. You can leave us a voice message on the Odyssey app, AUDACY, where you can also listen to the show and listen to the podcasts and everything else, all right there. Follow us on Twitter at ChrisAmyKMOX.
Time now for the top of the order. The top 3 stories everyone will be talking about.
Missouri Attorney General Andrew Bailey is no longer the Missouri Attorney General because he is now the Deputy Director of the FBI. He was appointed by President Trump yesterday.
And the St. Charles data center is dead for now after developers withdraw the application. It seems that the people of St. Charles said no.
And the people were heard. The Cardinals end their 5-game losing streak. They won over the Marlins in Miami. The series continues tonight. We have the first pitch of 5:40 right here on KMOX. So as we mentioned, and you've heard the news today, in fact, the news broke yesterday, early evening, late afternoon, that the Attorney General, Andrew Bailey, has been appointed Deputy Director of the FBI. So we are expecting to hear who his replacement is going to be this morning. At least that is the plan. So the governor, Mike Kehoe, is going to make that announcement. And as soon as we find out who it is, we're going to tell you who it is. So you'll want to be listening to KMOX this morning. And really, you should just be listening all day.
You're plugged into the betting world.
Yeah. I don't know if there's a betting market.
Time? How quickly can you put up a betting market? 20 minutes?
Well, I mean, I don't know how long it takes to do that.
But what's the quickest turnaround you've ever seen for something that happened in the world, and then the odds?
I don't know. But
That's a great question.
Yeah, because usually the stuff that I end up seeing odds for are things that we've known about for a little bit, right? So, yeah, I don't know. I'm sure they could put something together. I think anybody could slap something together. But you couldn't bet on this domestically. You would have to go overseas. Not go overseas, but use like an offshore book.
Oh,
like
really?
It's kind of not
for
legal.
Politics?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can't bet domestically on that.
So when people were betting on the presidential election, you had to do offshore gambling. It's kind of exciting. I've never done anything that required me to be offshore, but I kind of want to.
I was surprised by this.
Exciting.
We talked to Derek Stevens, the CEO of Circa Resort, and Circa is one of the 2 untethered betting apps, the sports apps that are coming to us in Missouri.
Okay.
It's DraftKings and it'll be Circa. And he said, this is according to him, that still, even with all of these brand new sports books and all of these new apps that people are using, 75% of all the betting that takes place in the country is illegal. Even with all of the legalization of everything here. So I was really stunned to hear that. But at any rate, no, you cannot bet on who the new Attorney General is going to be.
Okay, well, the Missouri Times, in reporting on Missouri's AG shakeup, they put out their short list of potential picks. Here are a few of their leading contenders. Senator David Gregory. We spoke with him. He was the state senator who brought up the bounty.
It was the bounty thing.
Yeah.
Yes. It was like $1,000 if you reported somebody who was illegal.
Senator Tony Lutkemeyer, respected attorney and influential voice in the Missouri Senate. Former Speaker Catherine Hanaway, the architect of Red Missouri. Hanaway, they say, is a trailblazer in Missouri politics and a seasoned attorney. Here's my vote. Treasurer Vivek Malik. He is Missouri's current state treasurer and an accomplished attorney. He made history as the first person of Indian descent to hold a statewide office in Missouri. He's got a strong legal background, and I like him because he's always concerned about my stuff. You know, you hear the commercials about how you might have unclaimed stuff.
Listen, I
like that. I mean, not very many people are worried about other people's stuff.
So,
and he is.
Yeah, kind of like the state treasurer in Illinois who was concerned about my stuff, Michael Frericks, who gave me back my property. It was like $128 I had from the state of Illinois from like 20 years ago from wages.
128?
Yeah, it was like 128. I had a couple of old paychecks
That's a
from
new pair of nice shoes.
I know remember I worked at the restaurant. I worked at Dick's Last Resort, and I guess I had unclaimed. I had a paycheck. I don't even know how I had.
Check.
I have no idea how I had that much money because restaurant checks are nothing.
And from that long ago.
Yeah,
that's like the equivalent of $50,000.
It's crazy.
Today.
It's crazy. So
it is.
I got all this money from the state of Illinois last year. You should do that if you're in Missouri.
Yeah.
If you're in Illinois, it's like you go to the Illinois Treasury website and you can do it, or you can just Google like unclaimed property in Missouri or Illinois, and you put your name in. You find out if there's money coming your way.
Yep. Well, anyway, like I said, you hear Treasurer Vivek Malik's voice on the radio. I think he sounds like a nice guy. I think he does. I don't know him. Another option would be Senator Nick Schroer. He's very active on the Twitter.
He is.
Yep, pretty active. Chris Limbaugh, who has a name that carries, quote, considerable weight in Missouri politics. Tim Garrison, a former U.S. attorney for the Western District of Missouri. Bill Corrigan, a prominent St. Louis attorney and former GOP for St. Louis County executive. And Lieutenant Governor Dave Wassinger, who is, well, currently the lieutenant governor and an experienced attorney. It's a good list.
Well, so let's hope whoever it is. And I wonder how Kehoe is going, what direction he'll go here. If he will go somebody more moderate, because he appears to me to be a more moderate governor personally. So I guess we'll find out from him. But
Well,
I'm curious to know the direction he's going to take.
There's a couple of ways to look at moderate. Like you could look at moderate as far as on the political spectrum.
Like somebody
and their
like Nick
beliefs.
Schroer is not moderate.
But that's what I mean. Or someone who is also very, very political. And I get that all of these guys have political ties, but like Tim Garrison, former U.S. attorney for the Western District of Missouri, I don't think he's run for public office. Bill Corrigan was a GOP nominee for St. Louis County executive. He's a prominent St. Louis attorney. And you could say, well, of course he's political, but also if you're running for a Republican county executive, you're going to lose. So he gave it the old college try. So I don't know if it would be someone that you would call as lesser known versus someone like a Nick Schroer, who is a firebrand who likes to get that social media attention.
Yeah, I don't think we need that. We don't need, to me, I would like an attorney general that is focused on Missouri and really Missouri alone and not worried about making a name for himself on the national stage. Those are the people that I would like to serve Missouri. Now, you have United States senators that have to take on national issues. That's just the nature of being a senator. So that's different. But I want somebody in that office that is focused on Missouri and cares only about Missouri.
So the Attorney General of Missouri, and there are always certain stepping stones when it comes to national politics and where you start at the state level. Obviously, governor is a big one. If you want to become a senator or you want to become president of the United States, governor is a big one. But Missouri Attorney General has been a stepping stone for Josh Hawley, who is now a U.S. Senator, for Eric Schmidt, who is now a U.S. Senator.
Right.
And for Andrew Bailey, who is now the deputy director of the FBI, along with Dan Bongino. Interestingly, this move of Trump to pull Andrew Bailey into deputy director position does seem to be a way to not challenge, but perhaps to hit Dan Bongino for his persistence in pursuing the Epstein files. And Dan Bongino spoke out, was very vocal, not being happy with President Trump not releasing the Epstein files.
It sort of seems like his time there is
limited.
Yeah. Limited.
He's pushed it too much. And we did say this, that while the news moves so quickly and there are so many controversies that, will the Epstein files, this whole issue with Trump saying only losers are still talking about the Epstein files, does this have any staying power? And while it might not have completely split MAGA, you are going to see some casualties. Dan Bongino has not been fired, but it might be a slow death for him where he becomes less influential.
Sort of fades out.
Kind of fades out.
That's exactly what this feels like.
And so I do think there will be some casualties from the Epstein issue because this was a huge issue on the MAGA side, the MAGA contingent. A lot of people, for them, it was a big issue.
So when Governor Kehoe announces the replacement for Attorney General Andrew Bailey, we will have it for you right here on KMOX. You're going to want to stay tuned to us. Legally, you don't want to get in trouble. They're going to have to be friendly wagers where there are no real stakes.
No real stakes.
Okay. I'm not talking about the stakes that caught fire on the highway in Missouri. We're talking about STAKES.
Here's what we're going to do. We're going to come back with our question of the week, but also, Ranj, I'm going to bet you $1, and you need to pick your guy.
Okay.
And you bet $1. And then is this illegal if we actually have to give each other
I told
a
you
dollar?
no money. We can't do money.
Well, this is not for the listeners. It's just between you and
Yeah,
me.
we can't do money.
Okay, we're not wink, wink.
We're
giving
not
each other
betting
$1.
money. All right, I'm going to think about it.
Okay.
I'm going to have an answer for you when we come back. And we'll bring you our question of the week. John Hancock is going to join the show at 11:30, and we'll talk about this move. And hopefully by then we'll know who the new AG is going to be. So we'll get his thoughts on this. You're listening to the Chris and Amy Show, and we love you for it. It's KMOX.
Hey guys, Kevin Wheeler here. I want to tell you about 213 Complex, which is available at Supplement Superstores. It is the most effective and powerful all-natural weight loss supplement ever developed. Here's what it does for me and what it will do for you. Optimizes thyroid function, which gets your metabolism rocking and rolling, helps you with appetite and craving control. All-day focused energy comes with that, plus the reduced cortisol levels helps you get a better night's sleep. So get out to Supplement Superstores, tell them Kevin Wheeler sent you in. They'll knock 30% off the 213 Complex. Find your location at supplementsuperstores.com.
Energy security isn't a slogan, it's a necessity. American-made energy means we call the shots instead of depending on foreign sources to fill our tanks. Made here in America, ethanol keeps gas prices lower at the pump. It's reliable, creates jobs, and strengthens farming communities. Tell Congress to support nationwide year-round access to E15, a lower-cost fuel made with 15% ethanol, because American-made energy should come first. Paid for by the Renewable Fuels Association.
College holds a mythic place in American culture, but there are stories you won't hear on the campus tours.
The higher-ups are concerned about one thing, and that is avoiding scandal.
I'm Margot Gray. On the new podcast, Campus Files, we cover everything from rigged admissions to the drama of Greek life and student protests. Listen to and follow Campus Files, an Odyssey original podcast. Available now on the free Odyssey app and wherever you get your podcasts.
You hear that? That's the sound of your business losing money. Legacy phone systems weren't built for today's teams. OpenPhone gives your business a smarter way to stay connected. OpenPhone lets you manage calls, texts, voicemail, and contacts all in one place so that you and your team can deliver a seamless customer experience from ring to... Need to take calls on the go? OpenPhone automatically transcribes, summarizes, and highlights next steps from every call, so you never miss a detail. Need insight into what closes a sale? With OpenPhone's AI call tags, you can instantly spot key topics like objections or pricing questions, and use those insights to coach your team and level up every customer interaction. And yes, you can bring your existing number with you for free. Keep your team in sync and your customers happy with OpenPhone. OpenPhone. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try OpenPhone for free at openphone.com/try and get 20% off your first 6 months. That's openphone.com/try. Openphone.com/TRY.
It's easy to feel apprehensive about getting screened for cancer or to just keep putting it off. But Siteman Cancer Center wants to remind you how important it is, especially after the age of 40. And they also want you to know how easy it is to get it done. GetScreenedNow.com has all the information you need on cancers like prostate, breast, colon, lung cancer. You can also find out your risk of disease by answering just a few simple questions. And then you can find one of the hundreds of screening locations in the area. Even if you're a little farther out, there is probably a place near you. You have heard this before, but catching cancer early dramatically increases the odds of a successful treatment, especially with so many cancers showing up earlier in life. So do not be intimidated. Siteman will make the process as simple as possible. GetScreenedNow.com. Do it for your family and friends who count on you. Do it for yourself. Visit GetScreenedNow.com.
Hey guys, Glover here with my friend Mark Cantor at Cantor Injury Law. So as you know, I'm a lawyer, so I take this very seriously. Mark is a great attorney. He has a great team. He is from St. Louis. He is local. Call 314-628-9999 or visit CantorInjuryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be solely based on advertisements.
Your garage door is the largest piece of moving equipment in your home. When it needs help, call the experts at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Their certified technicians repair all brands of doors and openers, and you can even schedule evening and weekend service. Just call 314-781-5200. And always look for the red ribbon. It's your assurance you've got the genuine, the original overhead door. The most trusted garage door company in St. Louis since 1926. For same-day service, schedule online at overheaddoorstlouis.com. 314-781-5200.
It's the Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX. Sponsored by the St. Louis Aquarium. Explore the St. Louis Aquarium at Union Station.
Chris Ron, Amy Mark Scores with you. And as we mentioned earlier, we are awaiting Governor Mike Kehoe's appointment of the next attorney general, or the new or interim attorney general, since Andrew Bailey was named by Trump to become deputy director of the FBI alongside Dan Bongino. So now we need a new AG. Allegedly, we're not supposed to bet on this. So I picked my bet. My vote is Treasurer Vivek Malik. I like his voice. I think he seems like a nice guy. He's always concerned about my stuff. I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
So
your unclaimed property.
My unclaimed property. That's right. So I'm rooting for Vivek Malik. Now Ron is going to pick his person.
Can I just real quick? Let me give you a thought.
Yeah.
And I want you to process this. Okay. Do you maybe not want him to take the job? Because if he does, who's going to look out for your stuff?
Well, that's the thing. I've never had any stuff.
Okay, well, who's going to look out for everybody else's stuff?
Well, not my problem. Not my stuff.
So, what a conservative point of view. I don't care about anybody else, just me. Okay, here's what I'll say. Yeah. I'm going with Bill Corrigan because I love the Smashing Pumpkins.
You know what? They didn't put that in his bio.
I think Bill Corrigan he'll be a great, not just a front man of one of my favorite 90s bands, but he's also going to be a terrific attorney general.
You know what? That's a dark horse pick, Billy Corrigan.
Yeah.
To be honest, I didn't know that he ran for St. Louis County Executive.
I didn't either. But I did see him in the one time I met him was here.
He was here.
Maybe
that was his county executive push.
Yeah.
All right.
It's also not the same guy.
But let's pretend it is. So Ron just picking Smashing Pumpkins Bill Corrigan to be the next attorney general. I am picking the state treasurer Vivek Malik. And Ron says that legally I have to say that we are not betting.
It's a gentleman's bet.
We're not betting each other $1.
This is we can bet other stakes. It can be okay. How about this? Whoever loses has to jump out the window.
Okay. First of all, great idea.
I didn't say which window.
Yeah, great idea. These windows don't open.
Well,
I think we're behind bulletproof glass. Makes you wonder what's going on around here.
It's soundproof. It's not bulletproof. It's soundproof, Amy.
I don't know, man.
We can't have the sirens outside interrupting the broadcast.
We have spouted off some opinions that maybe,
that's not what it's about.
I think it's bulletproof.
It's for sound fidelity. We just want it to sound as good as possible for you, the listener.
Sound fidelity.
That's what we care. That's why we care about you. That's probably redundant what I said. Sound fidelity. I think you just say fidelity.
No, I don't think so. Because fidelity, like, what do you mean? Like, you're not going to cheat on me? Because your lover can't get through the window?
All right. So we have our bets. Amy is going with Vivek, the only Vivek she likes. And I am going the best Vivek. And I am going with Bill Corrigan of the Smashing Pumpkins. That's who I am choosing. That's who I think is going to win. What is our question of the week, Amy?
Oh, my gosh. It's a good one. So as we know, all the kids are back in school now because we had the soft launch of school last week. We had the real launch of school, the 25-26 school year, yesterday. So our question is for our listeners. Will you let your kids use ChatGPT or AI for homework?
That's interesting.
Yeah. Yes or no? We're not giving you, there's no nuance. There are no subtle distinctions. It's just a yes or no. And that's on @ChrisAmyKMOX on Twitter.
See,
I know my answer.
It's no.
That's right.
I feel conflicted about this because I want nuance. Because there probably are good uses for it that don't completely replace actually doing the work and don't replace actually learning about the subject matter.
Because sometimes, with school, you think, well, I'm never going to use this skill. Well, it's not just about the skill. It's also the building the muscles, building
your brain muscles,
persistence,
right?
Building your brain muscles. The synapses are firing, right? I can say that, yes, there are probably corporate environments where AI is useful. For instance, if you're in marketing or in sales and you keep putting the same decks together, right?
Yeah.
And it's kind of busy work. And you have to keep summarizing your ideas. I absolutely believe that in marketing or whatever, sales, whatever it may be, you're putting together these decks that you always have to do for endless meetings. I can see how AI is helpful.
But
that's very different than young formative brains learning how to persist through, if nothing else, boring things. It's important to have self-discipline.
There's a reason that when you're doing a math test, they want you to show the work.
Yes.
Right. It's about the process and learning the process. But I do think, and I don't know artificial intelligence well enough because I'm not using it daily. It is a good jump off point if you're looking for brainstorming ideas that you could then build off of yourself. If you're doing stuff like that, I think it's perfectly fine, to go that direction. But if you're having it do all the work for you, that doesn't help anybody.
Yeah. Yeah. And I also think, though, kids need to learn how to brainstorm. I taught.
You're not wrong. Yeah.
With
Sure.
drawing circles and and then filling in those circles with different ideas and different topics. And one topic leads to another. And it's amazing how, for instance, writing an essay, writing a book, fiction, nonfiction, you have to do the grunt work of brainstorming. And one reason why brainstorming is so hard is because it takes so long. And a lot of times you may have nothing substantive to show for it for 2-3 days a week. We think about brainstorming for the show. I can sit in the room for 2 hours with Matt and we come up with a lot of stupid ideas, but eventually you land on one. But that's a lot of quote unquote wasted time. But it's not wasted time. It's brainstorming and it's a skill.
It does exercise that muscle of
Yeah.
problem solving.
Yes.
Which I don't think I don't think humanity wants to lose that, right? So I think it's really important. Amy Marks Kors, Chris Ranji. When we come back, we're going to talk to Tim Lucchini, who is the CEO of a local company called Intramotive. And it's a startup, and it is the idea is revolutionizing the freight cars and how we use them. And seems like a good thing that it's happening here in St. Louis. We'll have him explain what his company does and how it could end up being very big. That is next on KMOX.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
The Dave Glover Show.
If you sit down with me and we talk about who I am, what I am, my values, political, voting record, you're never going to walk away and go, that guy's a bleeding heart progressive. I'm just not stupid. And I just don't take bait. And I just don't do things because you tell me to, or that I'm afraid that if I don't, fall in line or get on the bandwagon, people aren't going to like me. Been there, done that for years.
The Dave Glover Show, now on FM 104.1 FM, KMOX.
One more day, I think, of heat. 87 degrees currently, real feel temperature 102, intervals of clouds and sunshine with maybe a thunderstorm. It's going to be humid, a high of 94 tonight, maybe an evening thunderstorm, otherwise cloudy, humid, low of 72.
Sponsored by Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty 314-325-6888.
To sell your home and you want the most money? The name to remember is Gloria Lou. Yes, Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty at 314-325-6888 and start packing.
Don't get lulled into believing the IRS is getting soft. It's just the opposite. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. We are being told by IRS collection officers that their higher-ups are demanding that they get more aggressive than ever. So don't ignore them any longer. Level up. If you have unfiled returns, unpaid taxes, levies, or liens, call the Lance Story Law Firm today and let us get between you and the IRS. We'll protect your rights, including your right to appeal or even your right right to take the IRS to tax court. Remember, IRS problems are legal problems, and they need to be handled by an expert attorney team who's done it for decades. So call the Lance Drury Law Firm today. We're local. Our office is right here in St. Louis, or visit Lance, DRURY, law.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm, the Lance Drury Law Firm, 314-260-6120.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Calling all future sportscasters. Sharpen your skills and learn from the best of the Missouri Broadcasters Association Sportscasters Forum, Tuesday, September 16th in St. Louis. Join Cardinals beat reporters, broadcasters, and the legendary John Rooney, the voice of the Cardinals, for insider sessions on play-by-play, interviewing, reporting, and more. Then cap the day with a Cards-Reds game at Busch Stadium. Open to college students and broadcasting pros. Just $10 for students, lunch, and a game ticket. Space is limited. Register by September 2nd at MissouriBroadcasters.org.
How many of you think taxes are going to go up in the future? And if they do, who will be hit the hardest? Maybe it's you, headed for retirement. You've been saving in that 401k or IRA, and that money has never been taxed. And Uncle Sam is looking at that account like it's a big, juicy steak. What can you do about it? Join the All Financial Group for their Taxes in Retirement Seminar, Tuesday, August 26th or Thursday, August 28th at Fleming's. They believe a financial plan is not a retirement plan without a tax plan. Fund your retirement, not Uncle Sam's. Reserve your spot today by calling 636-230-8824. That's 636-230-8824 or online at yourmoneymattersstl.com.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. Neither the firm nor its agents or representatives may give tax or legal advice. Individuals should consult with a qualified professional for guidance before making any purchasing decisions.
Hospital Sisters Health System isn't just in your community. We're your neighbors, your friends, your support system. From your first visit, you'll experience expert care backed by the strength of our entire health network. At HSHS, we put your health first, with medical expertise and kindness that makes you feel valued at every step. HSHS, connected to our community, committed to your health. Visit hshs.org/caring to learn more.
Refresh, restore, and protect your employees and customers. Call Zero Res to clean your business the right way so your floors and surfaces stay cleaner longer without the harmful chemicals the other guys use. Call 314-474-2020 or book online at ZeroResSTL.com.
Today, the Cards, the Marlins.
Cameron Total Access 445.
Cardinals Radio, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Chris Ranji, Amy Mark Scores with you. And joining us now in studio is Tim Lucchini. He is the CEO of Intramotive, which is a St. Louis-based startup, and it is converting conventional freight cars into battery-powered, self-propelled rail cars. A really cool idea that, Tim, as I just said, this reading about your company, reading about what you're doing has really just exposed my lack of vision, how you take things for granted. So thank you for joining us.
No, it's awesome to be here. Thanks for having me.
So with Intramotive, I guess it was new to me. Imagine it might be new to our listeners. What does it mean that you have these freight cars that are electric, like electric trains?
Yeah, exactly. So if you think of a train today, it might be 2 miles in length, and it might be the width of Manhattan and a major city of stuff that all has to move together. What it really means is access. So we can drive single units to end facilities like a manufacturing facility or like a warehouse where you might need one rail car worth of goods. You might not need 2 miles of stuff all at once. And now we can provide that access to these types of facilities. And today we're actively deployed in use cases like mining, like plant railroads, things that might be out of sight, out of mind for a lot of people, but really do serve as the starting point for these types of technologies to go out and be in the wild.
So the way it works now, is it that you've got, all these different cars with different items on them, maybe different companies are shipping things, right? And you have to wait for the engine to pull everybody's goods. This would eliminate that, right? Because I'm assuming there's a schedule and you kind of have to go by whatever the rail schedule is. This would sort of eliminate that where you can move things quicker.
Yeah. So the way to think about it really is that that would still exist where we play, which is what we've built as a self-propelled asset. You can think of a truck on rails. And that can run in 3 ways. The first way is it can run on its own, independently, point to point. The second mode is it can pull 1 to 5 traditional rail cars with it. And that gives you the unit economics of this 2-mile long train, but with 1 to 5 units at a time. And then the last mode is if it's in that long train, it turns the whole train into a hybrid. So you can start to decarbonize and get the electric propulsion system, take loads off the diesel engine and go across the country. But there's reasons to have each one of those modes of operation, and we can do all of them.
So it'd be sort of like having an engine in the middle of, if you had a really long 1 mile or 2 mile train, it'd be like the electric cars would be pulling some of the load, is what you're saying.
And I know you have some rail fans out there, so they already do that. They'll have 2 or 3 locomotives in a train set to be able to pull all those goods. The second or third locomotive in that train is not going to be providing anything other than power to the rest of the train. And we do that exact same thing, just in a granular way with batteries as the primary energy storage system.
So if it is a more granular way where it's 1 to 5 cars, say, if someone's listening and thinking, well, then isn't that trucking? Isn't that what cross-country truckers do? So how would this better fill a need than the trucking industry?
Yeah, so first off, rail is still huge. So you have $700 billion worth of goods moving across the country and 160,000 miles of track across the country. What trucking does better today is speed and flexibility. So if I want to go from St. Louis here to Kansas City, I can have a truck come to my factory and pick something up and be in Kansas City in 4.5 hours, where rail today might be the lower cost option. It might be a tenth of the cost of that semi-truck, but it might take 4, 5, 6, maybe 7 days to get that route run. And so that speed and flexibility is a huge part of what we can offer and make the rail system more competitive as a whole.
So it's just cheaper. It might take a little longer, but it's just cheaper.
Today, when you look at the way that rail has run from the 1860s to today, it's always had a cost advantage. And that's driven a lot by infrastructure and scale. So you have these massive units that are running across the country.
And so I've heard you say that there's more track than there is highway in the country, right? Which doesn't seem... It seems like we are so focused on cars and highway and trucks and all of that. So I'm a little surprised to hear there's more track line.
There's a ton of track going everywhere. And the reason that you don't experience it, or even before I got into this industry, didn't really experience it because it's out of sight, out of mind, and it's dedicated to freight already. So we don't have a ton of passenger traffic. We don't have these really high density passenger routes like Europe has. What we have is a ton of raw materials through to finished automobiles coming out of Ford's factories, running on rails. And that's how this backbone of the supply chain for almost any industry works. And that's why it's so critical. And that's also why when something happens in rail, you see the whole world pause for a second and pay attention. And it's because of how critical it is as part of our infrastructure.
This may be a dumb question because obviously you're going to have companies with bigger materials, raw materials, whatever it may be, that are using rail would love this system. Is this something that even a mass distributor of finished products like an Amazon would use?
Yeah, absolutely. So you'll see Amazon move things on rail. Mm-hmm. You'll see Ford move things on rail. I don't know what kind of cars you guys drive, but most likely it came out of a factory and went immediately into a rail car. And so you have that end of the supply chain where you have your finished goods coming out. You also have the raw materials coming out of the ground. So if I need calcium, manganese, all these periodic table of raw materials or anything that's getting farmed, all that's moving on rail too. So at the very beginning part of the supply chain, all the way through the finished end good products, you have rail as part of that backbone.
So why do this in St. Louis? Why base it here? I know that we have a history in the past where we were the center of rail transportation, not so much like that anymore. So why pick this particular location?
St. Louis is a great place to be for a huge number of reasons. We've gotten great support from the community in what we're building. Also, if I want to move anywhere in the country, I can access it from St. Louis. So we have access to 6 Class 1 railroads. We have access to a good host of major terminal operators and short lines. And that's a huge important piece because if I go anywhere else in the country, they'll ask which Class 1 railroad do you want to be connected to? But outside the back of our factory and through Terminal Railroad, we can access the entire country. And that's a huge benefit that St. Louis has. Again, it's out of sight, out of mind for most people that aren't experiencing the rail system in that way, but it's a huge advantage. And then on top of it, the workforce here is amazing. The team that we've built is awesome, having access to the right people and proving that we don't have to do this in San Francisco or New York. We can do this right here in a community like St. Louis that can lean in and be technology forward as a community.
You know, when we're thinking of, battery powered electric rail. A lot of people, their experience with, electric would be like electric vehicles. And obviously they have their pros and cons with the batteries and the way the batteries respond differently to heat or to cold. How different or similar are these rail cars to what the average person knows about an EV?
Yeah. So the beauty of rail is the efficiency of it. So the right of ways at all the crossings means you don't have to start and stop a lot. They have 0% grades for a good amount of the track, which means you're not climbing up hills or anything. You're going through mountains instead of over them. That adds a bunch of energy efficiency that's just innate in the system. And then on top of it, the automotive industry went so fast and aggressive towards electric vehicles that we're actually using the same types of power systems, same type of motors, same types of sensors and perception systems that the auto industry has used in a way that rail couldn't have done this on their own. But we're leveraging a system that might have 200 kilowatt hours of battery. And I drive an F-150 Lightning, so I have 131 kilowatt hours of capacity in that pickup truck. So our rail car systems aren't that much bigger than what you would get from one of those EVs. That also means the charging infrastructure is there. We can answer that question. The supply chain questions are there. And we can provide a complete system to our customers that gives you a system that can pull several hundred miles of range with a vehicle that's 286,000 pounds. So that's 3 times the weight of a traditional semi-truck when you look at how heavy that is. And that's just the efficiency of rail at play that makes battery electric work on that scale. And then if you do want to go to St. Louis to Chicago or St. Louis to the Port of Long Beach, you can run that with the traditional train set, and we can fit in that train.
So it does work long distance. You want to, because we think of electric vehicles, we would have to stop halfway to Chicago and charge up.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah. The key to what we're doing is it's backwards compatible. So if you turn our system off, we have all the standard couplers, air brakes, safety mechanisms that you're going to see with a rail car today, so that we can just go along in that train and go across the country in that long haul route. And then as battery tech gets better or anything else that comes that might be a breakthrough, we can implement that as well.
So dumb question. What is the charging mechanism for this?
Yeah, we use level 2 chargers, just like the automotive EV space does. So you can use a level 2 AC or level 2 DC charger. And really what that means is that the infrastructure has been sized and supported, and a lot of the standards and specifications are there, and we can just plug right into that same ecosystem.
So what has growth been like in terms of business for you? And if this sort of sounds like we're going to move this direction anyway, that, whether it's this company or another company that does it, we're going to utilize this technology. So how much growth has there been?
There's been a great amount of growth, and we're 5 years old, so we're still a relatively young company, but we started with 3 people, an idea, no resources, no customers. And now we've grown to 50 people here in St. Louis, customers that are using this every single day. We're going to move roughly 1 million tons of material this year in production for customers. We're going to move over 14,000 carloads of goods in production in revenue service. So that's a massive amount of growth. And then you can look at the total tonnages in rail and the amount of material that's moved. And we have a ton of potential to continue to grow this team and grow. Like you said, this future will exist. And we're excited to be the ones that are bringing it to life.
And you, as we mentioned earlier, you're from Ohio, lived in Michigan, spent some time in South Dakota or North Dakota.
Yep, South Dakota. The Dakotas. We can
the Dakotas for
yeah.
school. And you came here about 10 years ago. Did you come here for Boeing?
Yep. So I came here to work in the defense industry. I did a PhD research in jet engines and got a chance as a domestic PhD to come to Boeing, work in the defense industry, work on cruise missiles, fighter jets, unmanned platforms. And then in 2017, when everybody thought they were going to fly to work, we got to help build a flying car and help put all that system together, which is a bunch of batteries, motors, and sensors. And then a longtime friend of mine, Alex Pfeiffer, who I grew up with in Ohio, said, "Hey, we are studying rail in my MBA program and looking at competitive threats of autonomous trucks, electric trucks. And what do you think happens if you take the technologies you've been building the last couple of years and apply it to trains?" And that's really the genesis for how we got started.
So when are we going to start flying to work?
TBD. It looks like
okay. I mean,
one of those things where every year it's next year.
Keep getting promised.
Well, and it might be on a train like in Back to the Future 3.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
But it is a really cool idea. That trains are not an anachronism. Like you said, we use them so much, but it's out of sight, out of mind. And so you're using this very modern technology and applying it to something that has existed through, over a century, a couple centuries, I should say. And that really hadn't been thought of before, had it? And not on this scale.
Yeah, I think the interesting about rail is it's a super efficient, very stable business that's been getting 1% to 2% better every year for 150 to 200 years. Where we are at now is a ton of technologies come to fruition that makes sense to apply to rail. And it's those types of natural things where when you see this thing running, you say, this makes sense. Why didn't we do this first? And it's just a natural fit. And it's solving problems for our customers. It's providing better access to the shippers or people that are at the end of the lines, and does really give that all-in just-in-time delivery model, which everybody's talking about their same-day deliveries that they're getting from anything they order online. If I'm a business, I want that same type of service. I want things to fast and flexibly show up at my facility so that I can keep doing what I need to do to run my business or get the goods to my house and get the things where they need to go. And that's really what we provide.
And how soon before this is used for passenger rail?
Yeah, we get asked all the time. It's totally possible. In ways, you can see that this has already happened in some passenger scenarios. Like when you're at an airport, you'll see a passenger mover move around, and a lot of times that'll be unmanned. And it's odd that people are more comfortable with that scenario than moving rocks, which is where we're focusing at that other side of the spectrum. But it just that's where we as a business will focus in the near term.
And then I know you mentioned you have with the 50 people here in St. Louis, those are clients or employees?
Those are teammates that help us build this technology and bring it forward.
And that is, you've got your first on the tracks.
Yep. For a year at this point.
What is your growth projection for the next 1 year, 5 years, 10 years?
Yeah. So it's when we run these spreadsheets and models, it's kind of crazy because we're in hundreds and thousands of % growth trajectory. So it's high. And for us, it's about how much capacity can we provide and how quickly can we staff up the manufacturing and go and deliver on these units that people are asking for. And for the first several years, it was trying to get our story out and selling this word of mouth with myself and my co-founder, Alex. And now we've got inbound interest coming in, and we're going to work as hard as we can to keep up with that demand.
As we say goodbye here, Tim, a listener has texted in with a question because you are from Ohio and went to school in Michigan, wants to know if it's Buckeyes or Wolverines. I'm going to answer for him. It's Go Sparty. He went to Michigan State.
Yes.
There you go.
There you go.
And I will say this. I love that you're doing this here in St. Louis. I'm a lifelong St. Louis and Ron, same thing. And I feel like this is redemption for us giving the original rail system to Chicago and thinking that steamboats were the way of the future. And there's this Harvard professor who wrote his thesis on the history of Chicago, whole chapter dedicated to St. Louis, going, we don't need trains. At any rate, you start this thing here and this thing blows up. I feel like this is redemption.
There you go.
So thank you.
It just took us a couple years, but we're here and we're bringing it back.
It's so St. Louis. Takes us a few years. We'll get there. Tim Lucchini, CEO of Intramotive, is very, very interesting stuff. And best of luck to you. And we're appreciative this is happening locally here in St. Louis.
No, I'll just end it with anybody out there is listening that wants to help us build the future and help us do it here in St. Louis. Reach out, and we'd love to chat.
It's Chris and Amy on KMOX.
Your biggest choice in home restoration is, who do you trust with your home, your most valued asset? Well, few can match Banner Construction's experience and dedication to excellence. Banner is an elite preferred James Hardie contractor and Pella window specialist. Restoration is a one-time opportunity to have Banner's design team show you architectural options to make your home the neighborhood showcase. Call for a free consultation today, 314-569-1050. Now hiring qualified carpenters. BannerConstruction.com.
Hello, fellow Missourians. This is your Congressman Bob Onder. My top priority is serving you. Whether you need help with a VA claim, Social Security, Medicare, or any other federal issue, my team and I are here to cut through the red tape and give you answers. In the last 6 months alone, we have returned over $1 million to taxpayers. Call my office or visit my website, onder.house.gov, to learn more. Missouri is my home, and I'm honored to serve you in D.C.
Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
If you have been in a car accident in the past and have settled your case, I may have some good news. Some unethical lawyers have people known as runners who come directly to your hospital room or home and solicit your case. It's a disbarable offense. Anyone that would hire these scumbags needs to have their heads examined. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Now for the good news. If this happened to you, we will sue these lowlifes and fight to get all your fees back. And then look and see if these bottom feeders also malpracticed your case and sue them for that too. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain. Visit forthepeople.com for a free consultation or call Pound Law on your cell, pound 529. If someone does this to you, call the Bar Association and report them. Let's fight these bums. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com. Injured? Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
It doesn't take a lot to make a big difference.
That's why we've teamed up with Jerry Kelly Heating and Cooling to bring you 100 acts of kindness.
For the next 6 months, the Chris and Amy Show is challenging you to spread kindness in simple, meaningful ways. No big budget needed.
Write a thank you note, help a neighbor, surprise someone with a smile. It all counts.
Let's prove that kindness is contagious. Share your acts with us by using hashtag 100KindActs.
Because a little kindness goes a long way.
Hey guys, Glover here with my friends Mark and Neil Gelman of eXp Realty. If you need to sell your home to buy a new one, it's never been more important to have an experienced negotiator that you can trust. You need my friends Mark and Neil Gelman on your side. 314-336-1991. Go to thegelmanteam.com.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody. Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
Did you hear? A recent stash of $10 gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s, and less than 200 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-800-969-0686 and you are guaranteed a $10 gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-969-0686. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $40 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-969-0686 now to secure your $10 gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out. That's 1-800-969-0686.
The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX and the free Odyssey app. Now, did you see this? With Chris and Amy.
Ranj, did you see this? This is I'm going to read the lead from Fox 2.
Okay.
Stuntman Ronnie Rondell Jr., the man on fire in a Pink Floyd album, has died. He was 88 years old. I want to clarify that those two things are not related. That's not why he died.
He was not set on fire.
That's what it sounds like. It's not funny because he died, but it says the man on fire in a Pink Floyd album has died. He was 88. So he is the stunt man who wore a flame retardant suit and was set on fire for the cover of Pink Floyd's 1975 album, Wish You Were Here. Apparently the wind did blow the wrong way and it burned his mustache off.
Oh, no, that's not good.
I know, but he was really a stunt man. There were also more pictures with him with more flames, but they didn't use the ones with the most flames.
So what was the headline that you had again?
Stuntman Ronnie Rondell Jr.,
Okay.
the man on fire, has died. He was 88 years old.
Okay, so the Fox 2 story.
Yes.
It said the headline for the Fox 2 story is man set on fire for Pink Floyd album dies in Missouri. That sounds even worse.
That sounds why he died. That's
like
a great
Pink Floyd
point.
set this guy on fire and he's dead now.
I know. And it's not funny, but that headline 100% sounds like he died in the making of the album.
Which he did not.
Man set on fire for Pink Floyd album dies in Missouri.
So, Amy, how do you feel about one day the Super Bowl, the actual NFL Super Bowl being played in the United Kingdom? How do you feel about that idea?
Oh, my gosh.
Well,
how about this? How about we have the next King of England crowned here?
Okay. So the British ambassador to the United States, Peter Mandelson, just recently said that he has made a pitch to bring the Super Bowl to the United Kingdom in the coming years. And he says, as long as he is in the job, he just wants the announcement to be made while he is still the ambassador. It doesn't have to happen while he's ambassador, but he'd like to see it happen. Now, we know the NFL's expanding. They've been playing in Germany. They played in Brazil. They played in the United Kingdom before, and they will continue to do that. But I guess I don't care if they play it in the UK.
Why?
Same viewing experience for me. I'm not going.
No, I don't like it. It's too American.
Yeah, but
it's kind of like
it's going to be a worldwide sport,
why do they want
though.
it? It's like Joey Chestnut in the hot dog eating contest. Let's have that in Paris. Well, nobody would do that.
We would take the UEFA Champions League match, the Champions match here, if it was going to happen here. We'd be all over that. Or the English Premier League, we would take it. It'd be awesome. I don't care. I'm watching on TV. I'm not going. What do I care?
What a progressive viewpoint. If you only care about yourself.
What? What are you talking about?
It doesn't bother me.
It doesn't bother millions and millions of people, literally,
Well, you don't
wherever
know
it's
that.
played. It only affects like 60,000 people. All right, when we come back,
Bleeding heart progressive.
Dave Simons, partner and managing director of One Private Wealth, our weekly visit. That's next on KMOX.
Now there's a new way to take charge of your blood sugar. Introducing new Garlic Healthy Blood Sugar Formula from the makers of the nation's best-selling garlic supplement. New Garlic helps maintain healthy blood sugar levels with clinically supported levels of garlic, plus a custom blend of vitamins and minerals, and it's odor-free. Take charge of your blood sugar with new Garlic Healthy Blood Sugar Formula. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Use as directed.
Staples presents That Was Easy.
Big year. I'm starting middle school.
Welcome to the jungle, Missy.
Best part? My parents promised me a new laptop.
Perfect for homework, essays, and drudgery.
So we went to Staples. They had all the latest tech, and laptops were up to 40% off.
Woo! Another back-to-school budget saved by Staples Easy Button.
Mom high-fived the cashier. So embarrassing.
Staples.
That was easy.
In-store, online, and on the app. Ins 23 select models only.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
The trusted voice of St. Louis. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Rolling hot dogs super fat on a fluffy bun. All beef hot dogs rolling in. Hurry, cause they're on the run. Pick your toppings anyway. Roll into this deal. Pick your two, big Q2. Roll and mix a meal. Mustard relish, sauerkraut. Ain't no need to scream and shout. Get 2 all beef hot dogs and a big Q for $5. Only at QT. More than a gas station.
Energy security isn't a slogan, it's a necessity. American-made energy means we call the shots instead of depending on foreign sources to fill our tanks. Made here in America, ethanol keeps gas prices lower at the pump. It's reliable, creates jobs, and strengthens farming communities. Tell Congress to support nationwide year-round access to E15, a lower-cost fuel made with 15% ethanol, because American-made energy should come first. Paid for by the Renewable Fuels Association.
It is 10:01 and we've got sunshine, 87 degrees in downtown St. Louis. I'm Debbie Monterey. Anheuser-Busch making a big announcement this morning. Stuart McMillan was there.
There's an inconspicuous brick building here on the Anheuser-Busch campus that acts as a place of education for their employees. Since 2022, the Technical Excellence Center has had about 2,000 employees with AB go through a continuing education there, and now they're opening it up to other colleges like Rankin Technical School to be able to have their students go through what the employees go through in this Technical Excellence Center. It's all part of a $15 million investment into the St. Louis Brewery that is a part of a larger $300 million being invested by AB in cities all across America.
Fresh reaction to the latest efforts to end the Ukraine war following yesterday's White House meeting with President Trump and Ukraine's Volodymyr Zelensky, along with European leaders. Heather Graby of the Belgian think tank Bruegel thinks President Trump is now talking about protecting Ukraine in a manner similar to how NATO member states protect one another.
Trump took a ceasefire off the table as one of his key conditions at his meeting with Putin. That means that Russia is going to continue sending missiles and drones into Ukraine.
Members of the UN Human Rights and Humanitarian Affairs Agency warning today that the trickle of aid entering Gaza is insufficient to avert widespread starvation. The risk of starvation is everywhere in Gaza, says the UN's Thamim Al-Katan.
Hundreds of thousands of Palestinians displaced to Al-Mawasi have little or no access to essential services and supplies, including food, water, electricity, and tents.
There will be no vote tonight by the St. Charles City Council on a controversial data center. St. Charles Mayor Dan Borgmeyer says the developers have pulled back on the project, especially after last Thursday's open house, where hundreds showed up looking for answers.
If they were more transparent, I'm not sure we'd be going through any of this, but there's so much that the people don't know. I don't blame them. I think they should stand up and I will support them in that.
He says people can still speak out on the matter tonight, but again, there will be no vote. A tall honor for the Gateway to the West. Our Gateway Arch National Park has again earned accreditation from the American Alliance of Museums. It's the highest national recognition for museums in the United States. Gateway Arch National Park has been accredited since 1980. A survey from Lightspeed Commerce on U.S. dining trends, nearly a third of the 1,000 diners questioned say they've left a restaurant before ordering due to long waits, while a fifth say they've left because they say the staff was rude.
As prices have increased for customers at dining establishments, the expectations have increased.
And we are just getting some breaking news as we've been reporting all morning. Andrew Bailey, the state's attorney general, is leaving his post to become the co-deputy director of the FBI. We are just getting word from Governor Mike Kehoe's office that he has named Catherine Hanaway as Bailey's replacement. Again, Catherine Hanaway, the first female Speaker of the House in the state of Missouri and an attorney, will be taking over as Attorney General of Missouri. The forecast.
We have a heat advisory until 8 this evening. Mostly sunny, hot and humid this afternoon. Just a stray afternoon or evening thunderstorm, high 94 with AccuWeather real field temperatures near 105. Later tonight, partly cloudy, though 72. I'm AccuWeather's Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It is 87 degrees at 10:04. I'm Debbie Monterey, KMOX News.
This report is sponsored by Metro Transit.
All summer long, Metro Day Passes from Metro Transit are just $5, so you can take a summer daycation anytime because your air-conditioned, no-gas to buy super safe, super clean Chariot awaits. Buy yours at metrostlouis.org. That's metrostl.org.
The Chris and Amy Show is video streaming now on KMOX's YouTube, X, and Facebook pages. Click and subscribe.
Well, so Amy, either we both have to jump out the window or neither of us have to jump out the window.
What happened?
Well, neither of our picks have become the Attorney General.
The Attorney General is?
It is Catherine Hanaway. Yeah, that's who's been in. Wow. We really nailed the execution on that one. Catherine Hanaway is the new Attorney General designate.
You know what?
Designate, or is it designate?
Designate. I think it's
Attorney
designate.
General designate. That doesn't sound
No, I
right.
don't think that's right. Listen, here's the silver lining is that Vivek Malik will still be looking out for my stuff.
And Billy Corgan will still be writing good music for Smashing Pumpkins.
Okay.
Yeah, so Catherine Hanaway, real dark horse candidate. None of us saw this coming.
Well, Missouri Times had her up there.
Yeah, but none of us saw this coming. I don't know. We just found out about it last night. Okay.
That was like their third pick. At any rate,
So
congratulations to Catherine Hanaway,
Yep.
Attorney General
in
for
the state of
this
Missouri.
fine state of Missouri.
Time to go to the guest line. Partner and managing director of One Private Wealth, Dave Simons, joins the show every Tuesday at 10 o'clock. Hello, Dave.
Well, remind me never to ask the two of you for your stock market predictions then.
Well,
Why? Did you know?
We just found out about this. What do you want from us?
Wait, Dave, did you know? Did you have the inside scoop?
Well, when I talked to Catherine this morning, no, I did not.
Oh.
Did you know Andrew Bailey was bouncing for the FBI?
Oh, yeah. I knew that part, but
No. Did you know it before yesterday?
Chris, that's inside information.
Okay.
I am not privy to,
Well, last question. Do you have any unclaimed stuff?
Actually, I had looked at that a few years ago, and the answer is no.
Yeah.
But I checked it just in case.
Nice. Well, let's get to business, Dave, before we waste more of your time, because we are good at that.
Yeah. How does it affect your stocks now that we know Catherine Hanaway is the new Attorney General of Missouri? Should we?
All of Wall Street was patiently waiting for this breaking news, and now we can go about our business. So thank you.
All right, Dave. Apparently, something rather historic or interesting has happened, and that is the U.S. stock market was up in May, it was up in June, and it was up in July. And that successive 3 months of the stock market being up is pretty rare.
Yeah, it's interesting, Amy, that normally if somebody said, hey, the market's up 3 months in a row, you'd say, oh, well, okay, that's not a big deal, is it? Well, normally no, except for this time of year. There's an old saying, sell in May and go away. And sure enough, if you look at the history of the market, over 80% of the gains of the market, believe it or not, have come from like the middle of October into April. But you have to be careful of following that because it's very erratic. And so you just have to obviously stay invested long term. But you're exactly right. This year has sort of defied the historical narrative in that since 1950, and I'll do the math for you, that's 75 years, okay? In 75 years, this was only the 17th time the market was up May, June, and July consecutively. And to add on to that, it's pretty good news. As I like to say, gains beget gains. It's very common when you're in a bull market. It just kind of continues to roll and roll and roll. In that, when I looked at the other 16 times of the past 75 years, the market was up 14 of those times over the next 12 months with an average gain of about 12.5%. Now, obviously, I got to give the legal disclaimer, no guarantee, past performance, all that good stuff. But history is pretty clear that when the market has a good summer, the gains continue for some time.
So the next question is why? Like, why is this happening?
Well, it's interesting because it's a little bit of a timing thing. You had that big sell-off in April. Remember Liberation Day, and the market said, "Nah, we don't think so. We don't like that." And the S&P 500 from top to bottom fell close to 20%, so roughly about a bear market. Well, then once Trump kind of backed off on that, at the same time that corporate earnings were coming in, and they were very strong, stronger than expected. By the way, with the second quarter over, obviously on June 30th, but most companies have reported their second quarter earnings by now. A few months ago, analysts thought the average S&P 500 company would report an earnings gain of about 5% from a year ago. 5%, okay, not bad. The average company came in at 14% gain. just huge. So, guys, something interesting is happening here where not only net profits are going up much better than expected, but gross margins are going up, even in this world of tariffs. And Wall Street has been rejoicing since the bottom in April. And also that inflation, the fear that inflation will start to come back, has not materialized. We don't know if it will by the end of the year, but this really has been a bit of a Goldilocks situation where everything is just right and investors have celebrated.
You know, Dave, we've talked about the influence of the president of the United States on, for instance, oil prices and gas prices. And you're like, the president doesn't have the direct influence that so many people attribute to him. When it comes to the stock market, one, how much does the president affect the stock market? And two, does he or she affect the stock market equally for good or for bad? Or is it easier for the president to affect the stock market negatively and more difficult for him to affect it positively, or vice versa?
Yeah, great question, because I get asked that quite a bit. The president has very little impact on the immediate direction of the stock market. Now, I will say this, and this is not a political statement one way or the other, but Donald Trump is a little different because he tweets so much, and he can have an impact depending on how verbose he is in terms of, well, this is what I'm going to do today to this industry or this company. Like, ooh, it's not so much the overall stock market. What Donald Trump has had more of an impact on are individual companies. So for recently, Intel, the long surviving semiconductor chip manufacturer, and now Trump is, first he talked about, I demand the firing of the CEO. And I'm like, oh, don't do that. Please don't. Let's keep the difference. Let's keep that Chinese wall between corporate America and the government. But anyway, it really impacted Intel to the negative side. You don't normally see that. Well, now, if you've seen the news, all of a sudden the government has taken a 10% stake in the company, and now Intel stock is soaring. These are different times with this particular president, but these are one-offs. And in the general direction of the stock market over time, not as much impact. Actually, the Fed, and then to a lesser degree, Congress, since they're the ones actually spitting out the bills and legislation, they have more of an impact than the president.
So speaking of the Fed, we expect at some point rates to be lowered. I think, we know that the president wasn't very happy with the fact they did not lower rates the last time they had the opportunity. Is the expectation next time around they will?
Yeah, the odds are, they're betting odds, so to speak, and generally they're pretty accurate. And it's over 80% right now say that the Fed will lower rates in September at its next meeting, a quarter of 1%. Now, this Friday, though, is going to tell us a lot, because they've got the annual confab known as Jackson Hole, as in Wyoming. So all the Fed officials there, a lot of big bankers, financial experts, who typically have the Treasury Secretary show up there. It's a big deal there. And on Friday, Jay Powell then will kind of close with public statements, and I think he even takes questions from the media. We'll know after that, oh, okay, because he's going to do a very, very good job of trying to give little hints of where the Fed's thinking is at this point. And if he's very, very hawkish, which means against rate cuts, you're going to see the market sell off a little bit. The market is poised right now to get a little help from rate cuts. I think they're going to do it, so I'm not expecting really any fireworks from Friday.
If you are looking at your own portfolio, I know you mentioned the months of like May, June, July, and then what that portends if you have a good summer into fall. When is the best time to do your year in review, or do you picture you prefer multiple assessments throughout the year?
Wow, that is such a wonderful question, Eamon. I'll tell you why. Because I have found it's very much like insurance, that people either have too little or too much on an individual basis. And it's the same with reviews. Some folks will look at their stuff every day. Many people do. And it's so easy now. We've got 24/7 access to our stuff online and on our phone. that's okay if all you're doing it is just looking at it for informational purposes. Well, the market did this or that today, and how did my portfolio hold up? Oh, okay, that's interesting. And then do nothing about it. The problem is too many people might be led to take some action just based on one day, which is never a good idea.
Panic.
But an action, yeah, that's it. Or greed when things are going well. Ooh, I should increase my positions in that very aggressive stock at the worst time. But in terms of a sit down, full review, really dig into it, I at least once a year and typically twice a year. And at what time of the year, it doesn't really matter. So if you want to do it once at the end of the year, at the beginning, and then do it again at the summer, you're still going to look at your stuff. Obviously, you get your statements, whether it's online or the old-fashioned way. You'll get an idea. But in terms of really sitting down to make sure your plan is intact, no more than once or twice a year, because otherwise it could lead you to make changes because of those two twin emotions of fear and greed. Never good.
So this is, it kind of leads me to a question about stocks like Netflix, which I know exploded, and NVIDIA now, which is the thing going back to 2022 in the last 3 years. It has just absolutely skyrocketed.
Right.
And, hundreds of percentage points. So like when you see stuff like that, the question is, well, is there a bubble here, or is this the future? Just hang on to it. Because, if you had stock in Apple in the 80s, you're probably doing really well right now if you held on to it the whole time, or if you bought more. So how do you handle something like that?
Yeah, this is a topic that I could do a whole seminar on, because it's really, I hear this all the time now. And every time the market's doing really, really well, which it has for the last several years, frankly, since the bottom of 22, you start to hear these fear mongers out there. Well, this is just like 99 and 2000. Just the internet bubble back 25 years ago. Here we go again with AI. And I'm like, guys, I may not be the most bullish person in the world, but you're all smoking something, because I lived through it. I managed money through that. There is no comparison. Back then, you had new IPOs coming to market every day that actually weren't even producing anything. They had no revenue, but all they said was, we're a new .com stock. Oh, let's buy. And their IPO prices would double or triple within a few days. We have nothing like this. NVIDIA is a real company with strong earnings. This isn't a buy, sell, or hold recommendation. In full disclosure, I will tell you, I personally own it, and we have it for clients. We're not selling, even though it's done really, really well. We have pared back along the way. We've been prudent. But those are the kinds of companies that are real and in the right spot. So I'm not saying the market doesn't deserve to come back a little bit. There is some greed that's starting to come in and filter back in, and we see it in the sentiment polls. I would like a little timeout. I would like a little froth off the top, but I'm still constructively bullish going forward with a lot of these big tech names, even after their huge run-ups lately.
Dave Simons, the information you give us every week makes us smarter, and we appreciate you.
Well, thank you so much, you two. You have a great rest of your week. We'll talk next Tuesday.
You too.
Dave is the partner and managing director at One Private Wealth, and he's with us every Tuesday just after the 10 o'clock news. I mean, his intent is to make us smarter. I don't know if it works.
I feel smarter.
It's
I've learned.
It's about retention.
Well,
yeah, he could tell you all the things that you need to know, but you got to remember them.
But that's on us.
That's on us.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's great, though. It's Chris and Amy on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Hey guys, Kevin Wheeler here. I want to tell you about 213 Complex, which is available at Supplement Superstores. It is the most effective and powerful all-natural weight loss supplement ever developed. Here's what it does for me and what it will do for you. Optimizes thyroid function, which gets your metabolism rocking and rolling, helps you with appetite and craving control. All-day focused energy comes with that, plus the reduced cortisol levels helps you get a better night's sleep. So get out to Supplement Superstores, tell them Kevin Wheeler sent you in. They'll knock 30% off the 213 Complex. Find your location at supplementsuperstores.com.
Hi, my name is Christina Straight, the owner of Straight Realty, and I'm asking you, what do you want in a realtor? Do you want experience? I've been a broker for over 21 years. Do you want to know how much I've sold? I've sold over $500 million, yes, $1 billion with a B in sales. Do you want value? I now list properties for only 2%. So if you're looking for all these things and want the best, then call me 314-441-4444. Why pay more than $2? You can also listen to my podcast on my website, straightrealty.com.
Commissions are not regulated and unenforceable. Straight Realty is a licensed broker in the state of Missouri.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-220-6409 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-220-6409. That's 800-220-6409. What do you have to lose? Call 800-220-6409. Again, 800-220-6409.
Hey St. Louis, this is Ben Barnett, board-certified master arborist and owner at Timberline Professional Tree Care. As a local small business owner for the past 24 years, I always do my best to shop local and support our community. Recently, 2 of the largest tree contractors in the region have sold to out-of-town investment groups. This means that the new owners of these companies are not invested in quality, customer satisfaction, or safety, except for how it affects their bottom line. Timberline Professional Tree Care was founded in 2001 and is focused solely on giving you, the customer, the safest, highest quality product while providing the best customer service before, during, and after the job. I've poured my heart and soul into tree care for the past 24 years, and we aren't going anywhere. When it comes time to take care of your trees, I ask that you shop local and call me, Ben Barnett, at Timberline Professional Tree Care, 636-479-7475, or online at stltreecare.com.
Hey guys, Glover here with my friend Mark Cantor at Cantor Injury Law. So as you know, I'm a lawyer, so I take this very seriously. Mark is a great attorney. He has a great team. He is from St. Louis. He is local. Call 314-628-9999 or visit cantorinjurylaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be solely based on advertisements.
It's the Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX, sponsored by the St. Louis Aquarium. Explore the St. Louis Aquarium at Union Station.
Milan Lucic with the game on his stick, walks in and scores! 9 points out of 10 in the homestand. Lucic is the hero.
Well, if you're like most of the people listening, you're probably wondering, why are you playing a Milan Lucic highlight right now? Well, the Blues have signed Milan Lucic to a professional tryout for this upcoming season. So kind of an interesting move.
So not a guarantee to make the roster.
Not a guarantee to make the roster, but it is a tryout agreement. He's 37 years old. He did not play last season because he had to enter the NHLPA player assistance program. There was an issue. There was a domestic and an issue with his wife. I think she did not agree to testify. They didn't press charges, so that got dropped. He took a leave of absence from the Boston Bruins in November of 2023. In 2023-2024, which was his 17th NHL season, he had 2 assists in 4 games. So he really hasn't played in a couple of years. He is an older guy. He did win the cup with the Boston Bruins in 2011. A bit of an interesting move. Haven't had a ton of time to look into it. Haven't seen if Doug Armstrong made a statement on it yet with this signing. But yeah, I don't know.
I mean, we just talked about this yesterday, right? About athletes, and it seems like we have a much higher tolerance for players who are good and who contribute to our teams winning if they've done something wrong off the field, off the ice. It's almost like we go to bat for them, and we're not very quick to say, okay, I don't want you on my team anymore because I don't want players like you. I don't want people who, hit women or commit violent crimes or whatever it is, right? I don't know what the guy did. I wasn't there for it. I know she dropped charges. I know there are a million reasons why women drop charges in situations like this. And it isn't always because, well, actually, he did nothing wrong. It could be because she's afraid. It could be because she just doesn't want to go through the whole process because it's traumatizing. I mean, who knows? There are a million reasons that she could have decided not to do this. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't sit well. It doesn't mean that he's actually guilty of something, but it doesn't sit well. We just had this conversation yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, even without the incident, it's an interesting signing or opportunity because he's an older guy. He's not a prolific goal scorer, right? He's kind of a physical presence on the ice, obviously a veteran presence on the ice, but it's an interesting tryout anyway. As I said, he hasn't really played in 2 years because he did sign with Boston again in the summer of 2023. 4 games into the season, he took a puck to the ankle, placed on long-term injured reserve by the Bruins. That's that November, while he was still out of the lineup because he was injured. He was arrested in Boston. Now, it just says for a domestic incident involving his wife. He pled not guilty to assault and battery. She dropped the charges, or the charges were dropped because she refused to testify. And then he didn't play for the rest of the 23-24 season, and he entered that player assistance program. So it's just kind of an interesting opportunity that the Blues are giving Milan Lucic, partly because he's a physical presence. He's older. I know that his fitness was kind of an issue, at least at the beginning. And it's not like, well, you're taking a chance on a 30-goal scorer. That's not who he is.
Right.
You know, he's got a lot of penalty minutes. He's one of those guys that's hated around the league.
So if you had to guess, does he make a roster? Does he make the Blues roster?
I would say no, but I feel like that's, if not an uneducated guess, it's a minimally educated guess because I don't know a lot about this right now. And so it's a minimally educated guess. But again, you know, he might get 7 to 10 goals. I mean, that's historically what he's gotten in an entire season. And that's 10 years ago.
Right.
You know, he was scoring. So he's a physical presence, but also the game has changed. You don't really have your fourth line as the goon line like it used to be, right? You don't have a Tony Twist line, a Reed Lowe line. You don't have that anymore. You roll 4 lines of guys that have speed and skill and so forth. So, and not that Lucic isn't skilled, he is. It's just an interesting signing for a guy that late in his career. Yeah, so we will follow that story. Quick note too, with the collective bargaining agreement with the NHL, next season they're going from 82 games to 84 games.
So this upcoming season?
Well, not this one, the one after this one.
After 25, 26.
So 26-27 season. Okay. They'll go from 82 games to 84 games, and also they'll be shortening the preseason, which is a great move. I think it's going to be like 4 games.
I mean, how much preseason do you need?
Not 9 games. So, yeah, it'll be shortened. So I think that's a good move. If you're going to extend the regular season, you got to shorten the preseason.
Cardinals ended a losing streak last night. They are in Miami taking on the Marlins. They had the first of a 3-game series there. We're going to talk to Kyle McClellan, former Cardinals pitcher and host of the Chatters Box podcast. Kyle joins us next on KMOX.
This isn't your typical lunchtime baseball chatter. This is the Gas House Gang.
I'll say this. Here's my perspective.
Tom Ackerman, Chris Ronchi, Mike Claiborne, and Bernie Miklasz bring smart, informed Cards talk. And every Tuesday,
we welcome in the manager of the Cardinals, Oliver Marmol.
You want real Cardinals conversation? You're in the right place. The Gas House Gang, weekdays at noon on 104.1 FM KMOX, the voice of baseball.
This is a test of the emergency alert system. This is only a test. This has been a test of the emergency alert system. This was only a test.
Hey guys, Glover here for my friends at Universal Windows Direct. We have all definitely been feeling the heat this summer, and if your home isn't staying cool, your windows could be the reason why. You can blast the AC all day long, but if your windows aren't doing their job, all that cool air is going out the window, literally. Never a better time to buy. Buy 2 windows, get 2 for free, and there's no limit and no interest for 5 whole years. That's 60 months of zero interest financing. Call 314-334-2522 or go to universalwindowsdirect.com.
Currently, it is 88 degrees, creeping up to a high of 94 today already. The real field temperature is 107. Will be cloudy, some bits of sunshine, maybe a thunderstorm this afternoon into the evening. Otherwise, just cloudy and very humid, a low of 72.
Weather sponsored by Renner Garage Door, forward and back, RENNER.
Cardinal Cowboy here. For over 65 years, Renner Garage Door has delivered top-notch service, sales, and installation. Get your free estimate today. RennerDoorSTL.com. Renner, forward and back.
RENNER. RENNER.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
If you're over the age of 65 or an adult living with a disability, you know navigating the Medicare system can be hard. But Missouri's Area Agencies on Aging look out for you by providing free, unbiased Medicare counseling. They will determine if you can save money or help you pick and even enroll in the plan that is best for you. They can even help you apply for Medicare savings programs. Contact your local Area Agency on Aging at 800-235-5503. Paid through a grant from the Administration for Community Living, grant number 2401, MOM-IAA 01.
It's easy to feel apprehensive about getting screened for cancer or to just keep putting it off. But Siteman Cancer Center wants to remind you how important it is, especially after the age of 40. And they also want you to know how easy it is to get it done. GetScreenedNow.com has all the information you need on cancers like prostate, breast, colon, lung cancer. You can also find out your risk of disease by answering just a few simple questions. And then you can find one of the hundreds of screening locations in the area. Even if you're a little farther out, there is probably a place near you. You have heard this before, but catching cancer early dramatically increases the odds of a successful treatment, especially with so many cancers showing up earlier in life. So do not be intimidated. Siteman will make the process as simple as possible. GetScreenedNow.com. Do it for your family and friends who count on you. Do it for yourself. Visit GetScreenedNow.com.
Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort, offering small ship experiences with a shore excursion included in every port and programs designed for cultural enrichment. Discover more at Viking.com. That's Viking.com.
It's the greatest pop rock of the 60s and 70s. The Happy Together Tour 2025 with the Turtles, Jay and the Americans, Little Anthony, Gary Puckett and the Union Gap, the Vogues, and the Cowsills. This Thursday night, the Family Arena. Reserve seats on sale now at the Carroll House Furniture box office located at the Family Arena or Ticketmaster.
Get ready for BTO live in concert. Bachman Turner Overdrive with special guests April Wine and Zebra. Roll on down the Highway 2025 tour. Saturday, August 30th, the Family Arena, a night of vintage BTO. Tickets on sale now at the Carroll House Furniture box office, located at the Family Arena or Ticketmaster. Don't miss Bachman Turner Overdrive.
Retiring soon? Get the information you need by joining Kyle Jones and Matt Allgeier of Fire Capital Management for your retirement highway, Sunday mornings at 9:30. Investment advisory services made available through Pine Ridge Advisors, LLC, registered investment advisors. Securities made available through AE Financial Services, LLC, member FINRA and SIPC.
Today, the Cards, the Marlins.
Ameren Total Access 445.
Cardinals Radio, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
The pitch. Strike three call for a Redbird winner. A slider catches Sanoa looking, and this ballgame has come to an end. A 2-hour, 41-minute game goes to the Cardinals by a final tonight of 8-3.
Cardinals did end the losing streak yesterday in Miami with the win in the first game of the series. They're back at it tonight, 2 of 3. It's the second of 3. 4:45 pregame show on KMOX, then a 5:40 first pitch. You can listen to it right here or the Odyssey app. Time to go to the guest line. We got former Cards pitcher with us and host of the Chatters Box podcast. It's Kyle McClellan on the show. How's it going, Kyle?
It's going good. How about you guys?
Oh, we're great. We're great. We're happy the Cardinals ended that 5-game losing streak. And it wasn't a lot of people talked about the weekend series and against the Yankees. And you've got this team that has a huge following coming into town. The Cardinals have a huge following coming into town. And it was just pretty sparse in the ballpark. You didn't see a ton of fans there. I know the weather kind of sucked, but when you see something like that, as a former Cardinal who pitched in front of a ton of fans, what do you think?
Well, I mean, I've had conversations with some of the guys on the current team, and you realize that some of these guys that have been there, they haven't had that experience of a Wednesday night against, flip it. I know the Marlins they're at the Marlins, but if the Marlins were here and you go on a Wednesday night, it'd be packed. You got 45,000 people there. And it's just, you look at it and realize like, man, we had it so good for so long. And then you look now and you're like, man, there's just a lot of factors that go into this. And it's tough. It's tough for the players. It's tough for the fans. It's tough for everybody, to be in this. I mean, the players don't want this. They want fans to be out there. They want to be in first place. They want to be going. And it's just a stretch that they're being tested, to come out and compete. I'll never forget. We had a time where we were struggling and it looked like we weren't going to get in the playoffs. And I remember we had a meeting and they said, hey, we owe it to ownership. We owe it to the fan base that we've got to come out. We're professionals. We're being paid. We have to come out and we've got to compete. And we got a long month and a half left, but we got to put that behind us and we got to come out and do everything we possibly can. So your veteran guys are going to be really important right now. It's a tough spot for the players because you're playing for yourself. It becomes a selfish thing of I'm playing for the rest of this year to get my numbers to put myself in a position for next year, whatever that is. But you got to find that motivation to go out there and compete because you owe it to the fans, you owe it to ownership, and you owe it to yourself to go out there and do the job that you're expected to do.
Yeah, it is. It's noticeable because Cardinals fans are famously devoted to showing up to Busch Stadium. We talked about how when it comes to attendance numbers, the Cardinals are always number 2, sandwiched between the Yankees and the Dodgers, which is insane for this market. I imagine when you played and you're playing in front of a packed stadium, did it feel like a shock when you would go to a stadium where there were maybe 8,000 fans in the seats and it just felt so different?
Yeah, we say it all the time. One of the big things I think that the Cardinals had in terms of recruiting free agents was that, you get these guys that are playing for other teams that have 10, 11,000 people during the weekday, and they come to Busch Stadium on a Wednesday against the last place team that they're playing for. And they're looking around going, this is unbelievable. This is crazy. And I do a lot of stuff with the team still and the corporate sponsors. And I tell them all the time, like, if it's not for you guys and the corporate partnership and sponsorships that we have, that allows us to create this environment, to where other players come here and say, this is where I want to be. And, I've said all along too, like the fans have showed up and we have amazing fans and all that. We've also had winning baseball for a long time. When you're going to the playoffs and you're going to the postseason and you're just in the stretch, it's expensive to go to games. It takes a lot of time. You're trying to carve out time out of your schedule and do all that. And so it has to match, right? The fans are going to be there because they want to watch a competitive product, and ownership knows that, and the front office knows that, and they're trying to battle through this. We just haven't had this stretch with the Cardinals in over 20 years. It's been, maybe you have a down year and then you're back at it. And, it's just kind of caught up with them and they're trying to battle through it and make the right decisions. You look at the trade deadline. That's another hard one for the players. When you look and your best players are getting traded, that's a tough one. You're looking around and going, okay, who's next? Who's going to be here? You're getting young guys that are getting the opportunity. So a lot of challenges that they're having to go through. And from the fans standpoint, it's a lot to go to those games. So you want to make sure you're going to see a competitive product. And hopefully it flips around and comes back, because it is tough. It's tough when you see it on TV and you see the highlights, or you're watching the game, or you go to the game and you look around and you're like, man, there's half the amount of people here that we're used to seeing.
So obviously, Kyle, it's about winning. Winning is number one. And I know it doesn't solve it for every market. Like in Tampa Bay, they have difficulty drawing people, even when they're really, really good and actual World Series contenders, but not in St. Louis. If you're a World Series contender, people will show up. So as we go through this transition to a new president of baseball operations who will take over soon, and knowing that there needs to be a lot of work done at the minor league level to strengthen that again, how quickly do you think this team can be not just competitive in the division, but National League competitive?
Yeah, I mean, you look at the division, and I think it's attainable. I mean, the division isn't something you're like, oh man, they got no chance against that team. It's not the Dodgers going out there putting together 5 aces in their starting rotation and and all these superstars all over. So I think division wise, it's very reachable. Couple right moves and free agents, you get in there and you're right back in this thing. And a couple of these prospects that you trade for, these trades are going to be important. When you've traded guys for the last couple of years, you need to return on that. You need to make sure that you hit on those and that those guys come in and help give you a boost for several years to go. But they're going to have to sit down and evaluate where they need to make the changes at and where they're going to have to go. And it's on the free agent side, it's going to be a little bit harder. When guys have been in here the last couple of years and it hasn't been packed and they haven't been a winning team. That's a big part of recruiting in this free agent side. You go get these guys that they want to win. A lot of these guys, some guys just want to get paid and they don't care. But I tell you what, there's a lot of guys, they want to be in a competitive environment, and every day they show up, they want to have a chance to get to the postseason and compete for a World Series. And you want to be one of those teams that's a vehicle to give them that. So I think with a couple adjustments, I think they can get there. I like the young talent they have on the team, and those young guys are getting a lot of valuable experience right now and exposure to see what they can do. That's what I said. They're playing for next year right now. They're putting themselves out there and showing the front office and staff what they're capable of doing, and they're battling for a starting spot next year.
Speaking of those younger players, like the Brendan Donovan and Burleson types, and Nootbaar even, who's I guess a veteran at this point. I think we know who those players are. I feel confident we know who they are, but it's still guys like Jordan Walker. I'm not exactly sure.
Yeah.
What do you think we're looking at? Because it does seem like he's more comfortable at the plate now than he was at the beginning of the year or even last year.
Yeah, I mean, this happens all the time. You get these guys that come up and they're big prospects, or they have, a great first year, and then all of a sudden the book gets out on them a little bit and guys know how to pitch them and make adjustments, or batters have seen their stuff a few times through the lineup. And it's hard to make that jump from, come up, have expectation, and then actually live up to that. That's a really tough hurdle to overcome for some guys. And some guys it takes, in the first year, they come up the second year, they have a better year and they're off and running. Other guys, it takes a few years to kind of develop. So, with a guy like Jordan Walker, they've, been with him, several different times, but he's still young. He's still got a lot of potential, a lot of opportunity. And, a couple of years ago, remember, it was like, well, we want you to do it this way and hit, and you want to do it this way, and you're trying to figure out who you are and what you do. And had a couple different, coaches changes that working with them and philosophies and things. So, that's a big part of it, is those guys, those young guys that you develop that have come up in the system and have been there for 2 or 3 years. Can they take that step to even that next level? And can those guys that you expected to come in and be a contributing part, can they be everyday guys that you can count on and plug in there? That's why I like seeing Mason Wynn still out there. He's, obviously in his press conference saying he was battling some injuries. It's not great, but he's still out there competing. And you're going to have to do that, especially in a time when your team's not competing, to not shut it down for the rest of the year and go out there and compete and learn what it's like to play every day, because they're going to count on that going forward.
Kyle McClellan, we know that over the weekend, Rob Manfred, the commissioner, in talking about the likely expansion to 32 teams in baseball, we know markets like Charlotte and Nashville and Portland are on the list of possible new team destinations, but there might be some realignment that goes with this. If that happens, I mean, we've seen a bunch of different mock proposals like the Cardinals being in a division with just the Reds, Cubs, and Brewers. It would be a 4-team division. We've seen some other dramatic realignments where maybe teams switch leagues. What would you think if they did something like that?
So I was actually our player rep when I was there, and I was on the negotiating committee. And back in 2011, we negotiated a CBA, and we actually floated the idea of like massive realignment to where you get it to where the travel's a little bit better, because now you have teams, you know, Pittsburgh Pirates are still in the National League Central. Well, that doesn't make sense geographically, right? If you look at where teams are now, and you can make travel a little bit easier on them, because you realize in some of these situations, some of these teams are traveling a huge amount more distances than other teams in their division. A little different now that they don't play in the division as much. But I'm all for it. Look, I think baseball is chasing football right now, right? So their NFL is on fire. NFL is you know, I mean, people are wanting to watch it and watch it in big numbers. And so baseball's they gotta continue to make some adjustments to keep up with that. And so if that means adding some new teams and some new markets, I think the competitive side for me is a little, you know, you're going to add some more teams, but you guys still got some teams that are continue to not be competitive year after year, which I think is a major issue when you talk about competitive balance and adding more teams to it. You know, but I think the realignment, I think it makes sense depending on what you're looking at and geographically. If you can make the schedule a little bit more even across, and if you can start to get teams to play maybe more games against teams that are more geographically close to them, you know, it might help with the fan base. So I'm sure they have their reasons. They kick it around. One of the reasons that we heard they didn't want to do it is they didn't want to change all the letterhead and all the other things. Going from National League to American League was an answer we got from the top. At that point, they weren't real interested in massive realignment. I thought that was interesting.
Well, I know there is an expense there, but I mean, come on.
I think they're doing okay, maybe.
Yeah, you're fine.
You know, when you talk about growing the game, I feel like I think the pitch clock was a surprising boost. I think it makes a game more approachable, more manageable for fans, kind of knowing a bit more what to expect. But I'd like to get your take on this with, you know, every team. You're playing American League teams are playing National League teams right now. You're seeing every team. You're not always playing a team in your division. It seems that younger fans are really fans of players even outside their area and not with their local team. You may be in St. Louis or you may be in Florida, but you love Aaron Judge. You definitely see it with like the NBA and the NFL. Is there that pull in the MLB in the same way that we see Gen Z fans pulling towards players in the NBA and the NFL sometimes over teams?
Well, I'll tell you, my son, Mason Wynn's his favorite player.
Mm-hmm.
We were at a baseball tournament this year and they were selling jerseys and he won an Aaron Judge jersey. So he bought an Aaron Judge jersey and he rocks it all the time, you know, and I'm like, hey man, your dad played for the Cardinals, still kind of works for the Cardinals, and you're wearing a Yankees jersey, but hey, but ultimately, if that's what keeps you interested and that's who you want to root for, I'm all for it. You know, like I just want you to be a fan of the game.
Yeah.
And whatever goes into that, I'm okay with, you know, because like you said, we need young fans. And it's harder too, like to get your kids to sit down and hey, let's watch a game. You know, they want to go play a video game or they want to do this or they want to do that, and to sit down and watch a game on TV. I definitely do see it, you know, having the younger kids. So whatever it takes, you know, we go down to the ball game. He enjoys it. He enjoys going down there and we'll watch it. He likes to, you know what's going on, who's winning, losing, but it's definitely different to see it through their eyes and everything they have. And, you know, access to now. And, you know, the fact that he'll sit down and still watch the game, and whether he wants to wear an Aaron Judge jersey or not, I'm good with it. But yeah, I definitely think it's different. And I definitely think, you know, your superstars are always going to draw more attention, right? And the league needs that. We have some great superstars in the game right now that are very marketable and are fun to watch and doing some amazing things. And so I think that's just kind of part of it.
Love talking baseball with you, Kyle. Appreciate it today. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Kyle McClellan, former Cardinals pitcher. The Chatters Box is his podcast. You should listen to that wherever you get your podcast. Cardinals will play tonight against the Marlins. It is here on KMOX, the pregame show at 4:45. It's Chris and Amy.
Thank you, St. Louis, for making Genesis of St. Charles the #1 Genesis dealer in Missouri for 2025. We know your time is valuable. That's why every purchase comes with 3 years of complimentary Genesis service valet within 125 miles. We're closer than you think. That means complimentary vehicle pickup and delivery, plus a loaner vehicle at no additional cost. Or want something new? We'll bring the test drive to you. Visit genesisofstcharles.com today. Based on GMA sales records for 2024. See dealer for details.
Save on prescriptions, discounts at restaurants, hotels, shopping, and more with Quiver River Electric's Co-op Connections program. Register for a free Co-op Connections account. Download the app on your smartphone, and you're on your way to savings. For more on this program that gives you incredible discounts on everyday expenses, visit quiverriver.com. Click on Member Resources, then select Co-op Connections, or call us at 1-800-392-3709. A tip from Quiver River Electric Cooperative.
The legendary sound of the Doobie Brothers is rolling into town. Don't miss the show. Coming to Hollywood Casino Amphitheater, September 4th, with special guest, the Coral Reefer Band. It's a night of timeless hits, epic harmonies, and classic rock energy like only the Doobies can deliver. Tickets are still available and can be found at Ticketmaster.com. For more info, head to KMOX.com/events.
You hear that? That's the sound of your business losing money. Legacy phone systems weren't built for today's teams. OpenPhone gives your business a smarter way to stay connected. OpenPhone lets you manage calls, texts, voicemail, and contacts all in one place so that you and your team can deliver a seamless customer experience from ring to... Need to take calls on the go? OpenPhone automatically transcribes, summarizes, and highlights next steps from every call, so you never miss a detail. Need insight into what closes a sale? With OpenPhone's AI call tags, you can instantly spot key topics like objections or pricing questions, and use those insights to coach your team and level up every customer interaction. And yes, you can bring your existing number with you for free. Keep your team in sync and your customers happy with OpenPhone. OpenPhone. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try OpenPhone for free at openphone.com/try and get 20% off your first 6 months. That's openphone.com/try. Openphone.com/TRY.
Paul's new drone startup just lost its most genius computer scientist.
We just lost our best genius to some new genius who's got a genius new idea. I'm going to have to find a new genius or two half geniuses and fast.
He needs a computer scientist that can keep his startup from falling down.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. We're dedicated to serving people 50 and up like me. Our needs are different. Big Wireless wants us in an unlimited plan, but if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used. At Consumer Cellular, we're focused on affordable, reliable plans, including data that suits your needs, not ours. Our plans start at just $20, and you'll get the best customer service in the business.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aid.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Chris Ronchi, Amy Markscores, because life is too short for boring radio. 104.1 FM KMOX.
Thank God we're not boring, Amy.
I'm so...
The promo says so.
I hope not.
It implies it.
Well, because life's too short.
Right.
For boring radio.
You're going to die.
I think life is long. Let's waste your time with us. At any rate.
I love that promo.
That's a good promo. Going back to what Kyle McClellan said about his son, Mason Wynn, his favorite player, loves the Cardinals, but he got an Aaron Judge jersey. Family member of mine, 11 years old, loves the Kansas City Chiefs, right? That's his favorite team.
Yeah.
He has like 4 Derrick Henry jerseys.
Well, Derrick
because
Henry
he loves
is
Derrick Henry. Yeah.
the running back. He's awesome.
Yeah. And so I think there is something with the younger generations. Now, the high schoolers that, I are in my life, whether it's family or friends and whatever, man, NBA is huge with Gen Z. Is it fair to say NBA is bigger with the younger generations, or is that just the perception?
I don't know the numbers.
They're
but
all about the
it's-
NBA.
Yeah, it seems like it's always appealed to younger crowds.
In general, like
Yeah.
generation after generation.
Yeah, I'd say last 15, 20 years it has.
Yeah.
But also, it's like a thing to wear a basketball jersey. If you're Gen Z going to Lollapalooza. I don't know what it is, but they all have basketball jerseys.
Well, I don't know if they are going to I should have asked them. Excuse me, sir.
I don't know what it is.
Are you going to Lollapalooza?
It's like a thing.
Interesting.
For some reason.
Hey, guess what we're giving away today?
Blues tickets.
Yeah, not Lollapalooza. Blues tickets
For the opener, the home opener.
home opener, October 9th.
Yep.
Against the Minnesota Wild.
Not right now, though. Don't start calling
don't call
in right
in.
now. But we are going to give those tickets away before the show is over. So you have to be listening for your chance to win. This show, not only is it not boring,
Yeah.
but it's also very giving.
You could say it's the opposite, though. You could say that we're boring, so we have to bribe people to keep listening.
Whatever works.
I know.
Sometimes people just want to cruise through the day, you know? You don't want to be all stimulated.
No, not all day.
What do you want all that for?
You need to just turn us on, like the show, and
okay. Yuck. Hour 3 of the show.
Leave the show on is what I mean.
With you until 12 o'clock today. Then the Gas House Gang. It's Ollie Day. Oliver Marmol joins the show at 12. Tom Ackerman, Bernie Miklasz, and me will be with Ollie, so you'll want to stick around for that. But we got another hour on the Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX.
How many of you think taxes are going to go up in the future? And if they do, who will be hit the hardest? Maybe it's you, headed for retirement. You've been saving in that 401k or IRA, and that money has never been taxed. And Uncle Sam is looking at that account like it's a big, juicy steak. What can you do about it? Join the All Financial Group for their Taxes in Retirement Seminar, Tuesday, August 26th or Thursday, August 28th at Fleming's. They believe a financial plan is not a retirement plan without a tax plan. Fund your retirement, not Uncle Sam's. Reserve your spot today by calling 636-230-8824. That's 636-230-8824. Or online at yourmoneymattersstl.com.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. Neither the firm nor its agents or representatives may give tax or legal advice. Individuals should consult with a qualified professional for guidance before making any purchasing decisions.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aids.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. We're dedicated to serving people 50 and up like me. Our needs are different. Big Wireless wants us in an unlimited plan, but if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used. At Consumer Cellular, we're focused on affordable, reliable plans, including data that suits your needs, not ours. Our plans start at just $20, and you'll get the best customer service in the business.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Mid-America's most trusted voice for news. KMOX AM St. Louis, KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Hey, it's Debbie Monterey in studio with Gloria Liu, broker, owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty and St. Louis's real estate expert. Gloria, while most agents make big promises, you're known for your upfront written guarantees.
My name is My Promise. While many agents promise you an unrealistic sales price just to get your business, I'll provide you with an upfront written guarantee stating if I cannot sell your home for 100% of market value, I'll pay you the difference.
Gloria, that's what sets you apart from others and why I recommend you. Folks, why risk working with just any agent when you can work with the best? Gloria Liu guarantees your sale price upfront and in writing.
Absolutely. And if I don't, I will pay you the difference. The agent you choose in this changing market matters and could cost you or make you thousands.
Sell your home with certainty, confidence, and for 100% of market value, or Gloria will pay you the difference. Call 314-325-6888 or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. That's GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date. It is 11 o'clock and it's 90 degrees in downtown St. Louis. I'm Debbie Monterey. The former Missouri House Speaker and former U.S. Attorney in St. Louis is the new Attorney General for the state of Missouri. Republican Governor Mike Kehoe today named Catherine Hanaway to serve out the rest of the term for outgoing AG Andrew Bailey.
It is absolutely remarkable what he has accomplished in his short tenure, and he is handing off an office that is in better shape than that office has been in a very long time, and I'm eager to get there.
Bailey tapped as the new co-deputy director of the FBI. Hanaway is a partner at Hush Blackwell in St. Louis and says she will have to recuse herself from some cases the AG's office handles due to conflicts. More National Guard troops are pouring into the nation's capital from Republican-led states.
District Mayor Muriel Bowser says the question over the president's crackdown is why the military would be deployed in an American city to police Americans. She's also decrying the deployment of hundreds of troops from other cities, saying crime in D.C. doesn't support that. Attorney General Pam Bondi says on social media, residents and tourists appreciate the effort.
That's CBS News correspondent Allison Keyes. Redistricting is important because it changes voting districts based on the census and shifting populations. Denise Lieberman with the Missouri Voter Protection Coalition says it's meant to ensure districts have fairly equal numbers, but
we should really be concerned when government starts rigging the district lines in order to get the result that they want instead of allowing the people to select the result they want.
That's what's happening now, says Lieberman, with the president calling on Republican states to redistrict now so they can keep Democrats from gaining any seats in the House.
Democracy is supposed to be by the people, of the people, for the people. This turns that notion upside down.
The Missouri Voter Protection Coalition is holding informational meetings on this topic Thursday in St. Peters and Friday in St. Louis City. Democratic State Rep Nicole Collier from Fort Worth returned to the Texas Capitol yesterday, but says she remains locked up inside the Capitol because she wouldn't sign a permission slip to be under escort by the Department of Public Safety. Those Texas escorts are for all the House Democrats who left the state last month to prevent a vote on the GOP redistricting effort. St. Louis's Hometown Brewery says it's giving back to the city with a $15 million investment.
The investment is being drawn from $300 million Anheuser-Busch set aside earlier this year to grow its workforce and other improvements. Now we're seeing St. Louis as part of the pie.
This new investment will strengthen our supply chain infrastructure, helping move ingredients from U.S. farmers to the brewery, enabling more production and the delivery of more of our iconic American beers to our retail customers and to our consumers.
Cesar Vargas, AB's Chief External Affairs Officer, he says the $15 million also will open their Technical Excellence Center to local trade schools like Rankin. Before, only employees were allowed to train there.
The weather is sponsored by FanDuel Sports Network.
Heat advisory through 8 this evening. Sunshine, a few clouds, hot and humid this afternoon. An isolated thunderstorm through the evening hours, high 94. The real field temperatures up to 105. Partly cloudy and humid overnight, low 72. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Right now, it is 90 degrees with sunshine. Cardinals fans, FanDuel Sports Network is your TV and streaming home of the Cardinals. Subscribe directly to FanDuel Sports Network and stream the Cardinals or watch through your TV provider. Visit FanDuelSportsNetwork.com for details. I'm Debbie Monterey, KMOX News.
Chris and Amy now. The Dave Glover Show at 1 on the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
We're going to be talking to John Hancock. You know John Hancock. He's our guy. He will be with us at 11:30, just after the news. We'll talk about Andrew Bailey's replacement, Catherine Hanaway, who has been named the Attorney General after Bailey was named the co-deputy director of the FBI. So he's off to that job, has resigned his position here in Missouri. We'll talk to John about that and some other stuff. But we can't wait until Friday to talk to John Hancock, so he joins us coming up here. Oh, a person had written into the show and had asked about the company. We were talking to Tim Lucchini, who is the CEO of Intramotive, and that is the St. Louis-based startup company that is doing individual electric rail cars, which, you know, it sort of does away with, or it can do away with having to have a big locomotive drag 2 miles worth of cars. You can have shorter trips, smaller cars, and it's easier for companies and cheaper.
Yeah, it's a complementary service or a complementary option for transporting goods, because you still need the 2 mile long freight trains.
Right.
You may use that for coal and so forth, and such. But you have trucking, you have the long freight trains. This would be like in the middle, where you can have 1 to 5 cars. And yeah, if you're going across the country, a 2 mile train is great. If you're going from St. Louis to Kansas City, you might not need that. And having these cars that can transport a lot of goods with adaptability and flexibility and speed is a great option. But yes, Intramotive, INTRAMOTEV.
That's the name of the local startup company here in St. Louis. And obviously we wish them a lot of luck, because it'd be cool if that really turned into something, you know, if that blew up here, and maybe in St. Louis, we could be at the forefront of that particular industry. 3
times as much rail that's laid across the country than highways.
That's nuts. I did not realize that. Amy, so do you remember probably 2 months ago there was the attorney in a courtroom who accidentally called the judge honey?
Oh,
you remember that?
Yeah, I forgot about it, and now my stomach hurts thinking about it again.
Just one of the most embarrassing things I've seen.
And it truly did not seem like a misogynistic mistake.
No,
it was like he had talked to his wife, and they had so many discussions or debates that they were bickering with each other because the judge was a female. He said honey, which you think, oh well, that's a microaggression. No, it's not, because I've argued with people and said ranch.
Like no,
I'm like, ranch, I mean,
it sounded like he was exasperated with his wife, because she said something and he goes, no, honey, no. And then he said, oh my gosh.
It was actually almost endearing, because if that's how he argues with his wife, it was so cute and gentle, like, no, honey.
And it completely threw him off.
Yes.
Anyway.
And I feel like throwing up when I think about it.
So I think this one might be worse. This is a worse flub.
Oh no.
Just because of the stakes of it, I guess. So a judge in Fulton County, Georgia, there was a Fulton County deputy that back in 2022 was killed. And a man named Alton Oliver was on trial for it. All right. And they were reading the verdict.
Okay.
And so this judge is about to read the verdict, and this is what happened.
The verdict, we, the jury, find the defendant guilty as to all 6 counts of the bill of indictment. Sheriff, will you please hand this to State's counsel and pass it over to...
Wait, what?
Didn't I say not?
No.
Sorry. We, the jury, find the defendant not guilty on all 6 counts. I apologize for my mispronunciation.
I mean, dude, what about the emotional roller coaster of that?
Oh my gosh.
You are guilty of this murder. Wait, no, not guilty.
Did I forget the not?
Oh my God. That is unbelievable. How bad would you feel if you're that judge? Now, I mean, there's no like real world consequences, because the guy didn't like accidentally go to jail because the judge said he was guilty, right? I mean, he corrected it within a few seconds, but you hear the jury, they all gasp like, wait a minute, what happened?
Didn't I say not?
No, you did not say not. The exact opposite.
Oh, this is something that really would happen to me because I make mistakes all the time and I make stupid mistakes. That's why I'm so against the whole, well, it's latent or it's a microaggression, because I really do make mistakes. I will, like I said, say Ranji when I'm arguing with someone who's not Ranji. Well, this reminds me of, again, not huge real world consequences, but when Steve Harvey, remember at the 2015 Miss Universe, Miss Universe,
that was it.
he announced Miss Colombia as the winner instead of Miss Philippines. And then he's like, wait, but they were like already celebrating, and then he had to call it back. And you think, how could that happen? I don't know, but it would happen to me. It would 100% happen to me. I would say something stupid.
Didn't this also happen at the Grammys?
Yeah, Moonlight and La La Land.
Yes.
Oh no, it was the
Oscars.
Oscars, yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's on the card. Just read the words in front of you.
I think both names are on the card. It
Why?
Says the runner-up
Runner-up.
is La La Land, and whoever read it as that was the
They
winner.
should never put the runner up
Yeah.
there.
No.
Yeah.
I would feel so bad if I were that judge, even though
Have you ever made a terrible mistake like that?
well, I'm sure of it. I mean, but it's such an opposite thing.
Yeah.
They're literally the opposite. Guilty or not guilty. They're completely different. They could not be any more different. Guilty, not guilty,
Yeah.
completely different things.
Have you ever because I accidentally cussed on the radio because I meant to say this city, but I said it like Sean Connery.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, you added
and then
an
I
H?
fixed it. So I said this blank city,
Yeah.
but that was bad. I was talking to blues broadcaster Chris Kerber, and he said what he meant to say is that he wanted to say that they won the fight for the puck in the corner.
No.
But he said
I know.
they won the blank in the corner, and and he said it was clear as day.
Oh,
He said
no.
it was so clear it sounded like he meant to say it.
Oh my God.
And he said the guy next to him, I don't know if it was his analyst or his engineer, fell off the chair laughing. And he said, I had to keep going. I couldn't go back.
Oh.
I just kept going.
Oh no. That's
And
a
he goes,
bad one.
Amy, it was so clear. It sounded like
You meant
that's what I wanted to say.
Yeah, you got the blank in the corner. Whoa. Whoa.
Yeah.
Curbs, calm down.
Oh, he goes, oh no. Yep.
John was watching on YouTube or on Facebook and said, you ever ended a business phone call with love you?
Yeah.
Maybe. I think I'm pretty sure I've ended a call with somebody I was not supposed to say I love you to.
I have. Yeah. But it wasn't like because I kind of liked him. Not like that. It was just
Habit.
it was work. I want to say my mom told the ATT guy that she loved him. I'm not sure. Somebody told the AT&T guy, like, I love you. I mean, I don't love you. I mean, I don't hate you. I'm neutral at this point.
Did she go through all of that?
Probably.
I don't know. I mean,
so it was whoever it was. I know my mama said love you, but someone said love you to the ATT guy. I've definitely said love you to somebody I shouldn't. I know I've said it to a friend who was a guy, which is like very like, oh my gosh, like, no, I don't love you. I mean, I love you as a friend, but oh my gosh, it's the worst.
and you're the kind of person who would get really embarrassed about a lot of
because
things.
I'd be like, oh, are they thinking this? Are they thinking that? Yeah. And like I mean, it's not a Freudian slip. It's not a microaggression. It's a habit because I talk to my family all the time and end every conversation with love you, love you. Oh my gosh.
You got to be so careful.
You got to be careful with love you.
But what if in court,
Oh.
whatever you say next, if you just, it's kind of like a call in baseball where you can't, I mean, now there are some calls you can have overturned,
Mm-hmm.
but like if you eject a coach or you eject a player as an
Mhm.
umpire, I don't think I've ever seen them, and I'm not sure they can take it back.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think you can say, you're out of here, and then say, wait, never mind, you're not. Like the Aaron Boone thing, the manager of the Yankees from, I don't know if it was last year, where he was arguing with the home plate umpire, and the umpire said, not another word out of you. and they show Boone standing in the dugout, doesn't say a word,
yeah.
but a fan behind him yelled something. Umpire ejects him, and Boone's like, "What? I didn't say anything. I literally did not say anything." And the guy's like, "I don't care." You can't take it back once you've ejected somebody.
Listen.
What if in court,
Yeah.
whatever the judge reads, even if it's by mistake, like that's it. Sorry, can't take it back. You're guilty.
Well,
You're
my
guilty.
Gosh.
You're going
well,
to
then This
jail.
would be terrible. They can't do that. But I will say, I just hope I never, ever, ever have to stand trial for myself or anyone else, because I am profoundly absent-minded. Profoundly absent-minded. And they'll say, "What did you do yesterday?" I'm like, "I don't know. I think I was home." They're like, "Wrong. You went to the baseball game and you met Matt Holliday." I'm like, "Oh, yeah, I did." And "How did you forget that?" I'm like, "I don't know. Sir, do you think it's possible that she could forget going to the ball game and meeting Matt Holliday?" And I would say, "I know it's weird, but I forgot." And I would need someone like you going, "Listen, I know her. She forgot."
I would.
That's what I mean. I'm so profoundly, inexplicably absent-minded that a reasonable person would never assume that I would do, forget, or say the things that I do, forget, and say.
Let me just tell you something.
Terrifying.
Amy, I'm telling you this right now.
Yeah.
If you do end up being accused of a crime and you are on trial, I will be in the courtroom every day.
Yeah.
I'll be sitting on the other side, though. I'm going to sit on the victim side
Okay.
in
Do they do
support of the
sides?
victim. Yeah, I think
Like weddings?
I think you kind of sit behind. Don't you sit behind your
makes
party?
Makes sense. I don't know.
You don't want to sit behind the
Okay, so you're going to sit
perpetrator.
behind the victim and do what?
Support them, whisper encouragement to them, and say, "I got
So,
you."
Vic, why did you,
I got
if you didn't commit this crime, why did you put your phone in the refrigerator? Oh my gosh, you're right. I did do that. I don't know. I forgot.
Mr. Johnny is watching us on YouTube and says, "What about when you're at
Yeah.
the airport and they say have a nice flight and I say you too?"
Oh, yeah. 100%. Funeral. I'm sorry for your loss. Thank you, you too. I've told so many funeral directors that I'm sorry for their loss.
No, it's their gain.
I know. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Thanks. You too.
That's Amy Marks Kors. I'm Chris
Wow.
Ranji. Hey, Amy, you seen any good billboards lately? We've got that and more. Anheuser-Busch, a huge commitment that is happening here in St. Louis, and it's good financially. It's good for the region. We'll talk about that as well. John Hancock joins us after 11:30 about Andrew Bailey and his replacement for Attorney General Catherine Hanaway. That's all coming up on the Chris and Amy Show. Don't forget Ollie Marmol at noon on the Gas House Gang on KMOX.
Hey guys, Glover here with my friends at Michael's Baths. Your bathroom might be small, but fixing it can feel huge. Cracked tiles, outdated fixtures, and that tub that's seen better days. Well, at Michael's Baths, we're going to get you the bathroom of your dreams at a price that you can afford. Mike usually comes in 30 to 50% less than the national companies. He is local. He is family owned and operated. He's done this for 30 years, and he is a great guy. 636-775-0800. 636-775-0800 to michaelsbaths.com.
Hey, it's Matt Pauley for i3 Broadband, the internet provider in the Pauley household. I think you'd love it if you had them as well. We've got the 2 gig package at our home, 2 gig upload, 2 gig download mirrored, and we're spending less money than we did with the cable company for lesser service. Plus, right now, they've got savings over $400 beyond their already low standard pricing. You got questions? They've got answers. Call 877-976-0711, and they've got people there who can answer all your questions, or head to their website, i3broadband.com.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments, including pills, chews, and more, 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
The reason many of us hate insurance companies is because some of them act like bullies. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. I've been dealing with these creatures my whole career. Whether it's a workers' comp claim, an auto accident, or a nursing home or medical mishap, the playbook is often the same: deny and delay. We became the largest injury firm in America for a reason. We fight the bullies. They know who we are, and I know it makes a difference for our clients. Just go to forthepeople.com and see our results and our verdicts after those bullies gave us their final offer. Hiring the wrong firm can be disastrous. Hiring the right firm could substantially increase your settlement. It's easy to get going. Visit forthepeople.com on your phone or computer, or call us on your cell at Pound Law, pound 529. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. forthepeople.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merit.
It's the annual KMOX Blood Drive with the American Red Cross, August 21st from 2 to 7 at multiple locations. Everyone who attempts to donate receives a $15 e-gift card. Make an appointment in the Red Cross Blood Donor app or at redcrossblood.org and enter KMOX for a drive near you.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and Zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments, including pills, chews, and more, 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
It's the Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX, sponsored by the St. Louis Aquarium. Explore the St. Louis Aquarium at Union Station.
Well, Anheuser-Busch just did something that Ranj can't do, and that's make a huge commitment.
Dude, I mean, I could if I put my mind to it. if I really try.
So Anheuser-Busch is going to invest $15 million into its St. Louis brewery as part of its bigger plan to invest $300 million to boost manufacturing jobs here. So the St. Louis brewery, the $15 million investment includes funding for supply chain infrastructure to transport more of the highest quality American-grown ingredients to the brewery and more of its iconic beers to customers and consumers. So it sounds like it's doing the same thing. It's just increasing it.
Yeah, I think that's great. And I love the fact that we have Anheuser-Busch here.
Mhm.
And of course, just being in St. Louis, to have any major company here is a very good thing for us. And I know that it's not like locally owned anymore because of InBev or whatever it's called. But it's nice. It's nice to know that we have this institution that's been here for well over 100 years, and it's a part of St. Louis fabric, and that we are known for it because people know that Anheuser-Busch is made here in St. Louis.
Oh, I love it. And it was it's such a big part of St. Louis selfhood. It's part of our civic iconography because you've got the building, in South St. Louis down there, just the brewery itself, which is so beautiful. I love the sign, the way it looks. I mean, even the font of the Anheuser-Busch sign is famous. I love the eagle sign that's lit up on Highway 40, like around Grand.
I used to when
and
we were
40, that AB sign.
Well, when growing up in Granite, my grandmother lived in Ballwin, and if we were going west to my grandmother's house, I would make my parents drive this way so that we could see the Big A.
I loved the Big A with the eagle, and of course Busch Stadium and so forth. And so it is such a big part of our city. What's interesting, and I'm so glad they're investing. So I'm not poo-pooing them. But since Anheuser-Busch sold to InBev, I have heard that it's different, which makes sense.
Yeah,
that'd be different. I do think you miss that local touch. I'm sure the people who have worked there for decades can tell the difference, just having talked to people, which I think is sad. And I get it. That's business. It's the nature of business. It's what happens. But so I'm sure if you were a longtime employee of AB, and you can tell a difference from when it was locally owned, Anheuser-Busch, and then when it was sold to InBev. But even with that, I'm so glad they're still a big part of St. Louis. But yeah, I mean, 314-436-7900. If you have AB memories or worked at AB, or like I said, it's interesting. I would love to do a deep dive on how different it feels from the inside once they sold to InBev.
I wonder how many people are still there, because it's such a big employer that you would think
I know
a good part of them are still around.
And I think a lot of people, I don't know if you call it a buyout or did early retirement. We had a neighbor who probably retired about 10 years early when Anheuser-Busch sold to InBev. And maybe that's because he was in some kind of management position, maybe. And that's why that happened. But yeah, really interesting. And listen, the brewery tours are so much fun. They're so much fun. The lights, the Christmas lights. I think Anheuser-Busch is doing a Blues and Brews event.
Yeah,
the
they
St.
do that.
Louis Blues.
Yeah, they did one last year. It went by.
mean, I need to go do a brewery tour. I love it.
So Breeze, Illinois is about a little less than an hour east of downtown St. Louis. And in case you did not know, billboards are still a thing. And
I know.
So this billboard went up. And again, it's about 40 miles east of where we are. And it's really close to the high school in Breeze Central. And it is an advertisement for the Proud Boys. You know, the Proud Boys are. They're instrumental in the insurrection on J6. They are labeled by the ADL as a far-right extremist group with a violent agenda. So they put up this billboard with the phrase, it says Proud Boys, and it says stand back and stand by. And that was on January 6th, what Donald Trump had tweeted out to his followers. And the billboard says, join now, Faith, Family, Freedom, Brotherhood, with a phone number that you can call if you want to join the Proud Boys. Well, there was a community meeting, obviously, and with that, good Lord, Amy, turn your volume down. There was a community meeting, and something like 100 people in the area showed up to object to it. The city can't do anything about it legally. They can't make them take it down, but they're trying to reach the company that is responsible for it, and they don't know yet if there is local ownership of the billboard or if there was a local decision that was made, that it could just be a billboard company somewhere else that made that decision. But I mean, my issue with it is that this group feels so emboldened that they can buy this in the first place.
Yeah, but also,
I don't know, man.
Is it? But also, they have a phone number.
Yeah, phone.
And
That's
it's a 618.
And I guarantee that's somebody's personal phone number.
Because I don't know that they have a website. I know that there was at one point they had a website in an online store that was dropped by their web host. But to me, that feels like small beans. If you have a local phone number, maybe you could say, oh, it's the local chapter. Sure, but wouldn't you direct people to a website? I'm not sure what to make of this other than it could be just a guy.
It might just be a guy.
Just a guy saying, join the Proud Boys. Here's my number. And because to me, it feels like a slipshod operation if you're throwing up a billboard with a local number.
But at first, the billboard went up above a hospital sign, like a hospital advertisement. There's a St. Joseph's Hospital in Breeze, and it went up above that. And then it was moved across the highway to a different spot. And, you know, of course, the hospitals reached for comment, and they said, well, we didn't really want to be associated with that. And they no longer are. But this is nuts. You know, it's just I don't know. It's off-putting that people are doing it, or that whoever this is, if it's one person or an actual local branch of this group that just feels like, hey, we could put up a billboard and here's my phone number. I don't care. Here's the email address. Go ahead and email me.
But here's the thing, doing that and then us subsequently talking about it can also make it feel bigger than it is. It could be two guys. You know, you know what I mean? That's the thing, is we don't know. The fact that it's not a website, the fact that it's just it's just a local number, and that it's a random billboard. Hey, let's get attention. Let's get people talking about us again because they want to be big while they're maybe they're shrinking, maybe they're smaller. We just don't know.
Well, I would say the cat's out of the bag on them being a well-known group after what happened 4 years ago.
Yeah, but I haven't talked about them recently.
No.
They haven't been in the news.
Amy Marks Core's Chris Ranji. We have a new attorney general after Andrew Bailey has accepted a job with the FBI. We will talk to John Hancock about that when we come back on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Wake up informed. Wake up empowered. Wake up to Total Information AM, your morning must.
Hi, this is Debbie Monterey.
I'm
Megan Lynch.
This is Tom Ackerman. From local news to breaking headlines to weather, traffic, and the stories that matter most, we've got you covered before your first sip of coffee. Expert analysis, bright perspectives from the people you trust. Total Information AM. Your day starts here. Mornings beginning at 5 on 104.1 FM. KMOX.
Currently, it is 92 degrees. The high today of 94. Real field temperature now 104. Could be a thunderstorm this afternoon or this evening. Otherwise, cloudy and very humid. A low of 72. Weather sponsored by Financial and Tax Strategies.
It's never too early to start thinking about your retirement journey, and it's never too late either. You just need to know that the steps may look a little different. Listen to Wealth and Wisdom with Gary Goldberg, Saturday mornings at 7 here on KMOX.
Spending enough time in your outdoor space? Do you have friends or neighbors who spend a lot of time outdoors? It's because they have an incredible setup with a nice deck or a sunroom or a screen room, a good canopy or a patio with a pergola with adjusting slats. I mean, they've just got it decked out so that you could just spend all that time in the summer or the fall or the winter. You can have that too if you call Chesterfield Fence and Deck. Chesterfield Fence and Deck is the sign you have the very best. And whether you're looking for a fence, a deck, a patio, a pergola, whatever it is, from a simple project to a complete outdoor space makeover, Chesterfield Fence and Deck has been in business for 57 years with an incredible reputation. They do great work. If you mention me, Debbie Monterey, they'll offer you 48 months interest-free financing. Just dream of what your outdoor space could be and how much time you could spend out there. If you call Chesterfield Fence and Deck, chesterfieldfence.com.
Calling all future sportscasters. Sharpen your skills and learn from the best of the Missouri Broadcasters Association Sportscasters Forum, Tuesday, September 16th in St. Louis. Join Cardinals beat reporters, broadcasters, and the legendary John Rooney, the voice of the Cardinals, for insider sessions on play-by-play, interviewing, reporting, and more. Then cap the day with a Cards-Reds game at Busch Stadium. Open to college students and broadcasting pros, just $10 for students, lunch, and a game ticket. Space is limited. Register by September 2nd at MissouriBroadcasters.org.
It's the greatest pop rock of the 60s and 70s. The Happy Together Tour 2025 with the Turtles, Jay and the Americans, Little Anthony, Gary Puckett and the Union Gap, the Vogues, and the Cowsills. This Thursday night, the Family Arena. Reserve seats on sale now at the Carroll House Furniture box office located at the Family Arena or Ticketmaster.
Get ready for BTO live in concert. Bachman Turner Overdrive with special guests April Wine and Zebra. Roll on down the Highway 2025 tour. Saturday, August 30th, the Family Arena, a night of vintage BTO. Tickets on sale now at the Carroll House Furniture box office, located at the Family Arena or Ticketmaster. Don't miss Bachman Turner Overdrive.
Did you hear? A recent stash of $10 gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s, and less than 200 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-800-969-0686 and you are guaranteed a $10 gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-969-0686. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $40 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-969-0686 now to secure your $10 Gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out. That's 1-800-969-0686.
We all have someone we love, like the favorite lyric in our favorite song. You can't imagine life without them. So tell them today, I love you. Get screened. It could help save their life. Visit cancer.org/getscreened to learn more.
The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX.
And although I've missed Andrew very, very much here in Missouri, I want to say thank you to President Trump and United States Attorney General Pam Bondi for selecting Andrew. Missouri has a truly incredible legal talent pipeline, and we know Attorney General Bailey will continue to make our state proud.
That is Governor Mike Kehoe this morning, as Andrew Bailey, the former Attorney General, is now off to a job with the FBI. We are going to get to that in just a moment. First, we want to do this. This is us giving to you again, because we always do. We care about you. We need, if you want to, only if you want to go to the Blues game on the opener, October 9th against the Minnesota Wild at Enterprise Center, and you want a pair of tickets, you need to be caller number 7 to the contest line at 955-1120, 314-955-1120. The best of luck to you.
And now we welcome in John Hancock to get his thoughts on Andrew Bailey heading over to the FBI to be co-deputy, and Catherine Hanaway, the new Missouri Attorney General. John, thanks for joining us.
My pleasure. Interesting stuff, eh?
It is interesting stuff. Which interesting thing would you like to tackle first, whether it be the new Attorney General or the old Attorney General?
Well, let's start with Andrew. So I know both of these people well. I know Catherine Hanaway very well for many, many years. Andrew, I mean, if you step back and just kind of look at the long-term politics of Missouri, Andrew was on track, potentially, to be the gubernatorial nominee in 2032. He would have, at that point, been a 2-term plus attorney general. The attorney general historically has been a very good springboard to governor in Missouri. And this kind of changes potentially that dynamic. He's going now to the Trump administration. He's going to be the number 2 man in the FBI, working with Dan Bongino and Kash Patel. And that's a big job, and he will have that job potentially for the next 3 years. And his future then in Missouri politics is interesting, because at some point that job is over and you come back. And so it really is, from a sheer political standpoint, it's a fascinating situation.
Yeah. And so with that, what do we know about Catherine Hanaway? You said you know her very well, but in terms of her politics or how she approaches the office or would approach the office, do you see her carrying on whatever missions he had in the hopper, or would she maybe pivot on some stuff? How would you see it?
Well, let me say this about Catherine. She is a woman of real immense integrity. And I've seen her through thick and thin. And in thin, she's really awesome. and so she's got this history, she had been an attorney. She ran and became a state representative, really was one of the linchpins in changing the legislature from Democrat to Republican in the very early 2000s, a quarter century ago. She was the first Republican Speaker of the House in 50 years. She was the first woman Speaker of the House ever. She then became term limited, and then went on to be appointed by President W. Bush, the U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Missouri, where she had a wealth of experience prosecuting crime, cooperating with the federal government, certainly cooperating with the Missouri Attorney General. So she's intimately experienced in the job for which she has been appointed. I think it's a brilliant appointment by Governor Kehoe. She went on to become, most recently, the managing partner at Hush Blackwell, one of the largest law firms in Missouri and a national law firm. So she's stepping away from that to serve again as Missouri Attorney General. As far as her priorities, the most interesting one to me anyway is the case of Sam Page. because those charges were brought by Andrew Bailey. And now Catherine Hanaway inherits the adjudication of that particular case. I can't predict how it's going to turn out, but I think it's going to be something to keep an eye on.
We have a viewer or listener, Robert, who's watching on YouTube and wants to know if with Bailey moving on, does that mean my sheriff might be saved? And as you know, John, I have been on a campaign to save my sheriff, Alfred Montgomery, from the likes of Andrew Bailey, because I think we should have him forever in St. Louis if we want him. How do you think she will approach that particular situation? Because
all right, let me take a moment and gaze into my crystal ball. I have to pick it up here. There it is.
Has no
Okay,
use for you, Ron.
give me a second. Now I have to
Loves
shake
me.
it up.
Okay.
I have to shake it up. I think, Chris, you are out of luck.
Oh no,
I think you're out of luck, Chris.
Uh-oh.
I think the Montgomery case is going to proceed, but that's just my crystal ball.
Okay. So my campaign, I really care about my campaign, and I think it's going to fail miserably. But
It's going to look like a John Hancock campaign before it's all said and
no,
done.
John.
that's not. You're always a winner in our books.
come on, John.
John. Well, okay. Speaking of winners and losers, is this appointment of Andrew Bailey as co-deputy director of the FBI, is this an indictment of Dan Bongino and Trump maybe being irritated with Bongino's focus on the Epstein files?
I've heard that expressed. It does make sense when you kind of read the tea leaves. There's a lot of speculation in Washington that Bongino is on his way out. So, we'll keep an eye tuned to that. I certainly can't pretend to be an expert on the inner workings of the Trump administration, but this would seem to be a case. And we know that Bongino has had screaming incidents with Pam Bondi and others in that office, Scott Bessent, I think, as well. So, if I were a betting man, which I'm not, I would say that Bongino was probably weeks or months away from being removed.
Yeah, that's kind of the way it seems, which would leave Bailey as the only acting deputy director of the FBI. In terms of his role there, in knowing what you know about him, I guess we kind of touched on this here, but how good at that job do you think he will be? Because we have, I don't have a ton of confidence, and we've talked about this before, in a lot of the people that have been appointed for some of these pretty important jobs around the country. Some of them I do, but many of them I do not. Is this one of those good ones that you think, or could it end up not going well?
Well, he's certainly a cut above Dan Bongino. Andrew is a bulldog, and Andrew is a detail guy. And before he was attorney general, he was the general counsel for Governor Parson. And I worked with him in that capacity some, and I found him to be very helpful, very thorough, a very good follow through. Something that I don't think is a particular skill set of Kash Patel, and I don't think it's a particular skill set of Dan Bongino. So I think he will be an asset to that operation. I don't think he will have a big role in directing the overall policy direction of the FBI. I could be wrong about that. But he's somebody that is very capable of making the trains run on time. Whether he's setting the train routes or not will remain to be seen. But he's better than Bongino by far. That was alliterative. And I think he'll do a good job. My concern for Andrew is he, as Missouri's attorney general, he was very popular. He was very much respected by certainly the Republican establishment and by the donors. And he's walking into what even the strongest Trump supporter would agree, I think, an administration that's got a lot of chaos about it. And an administration, if you look back over the course of the last now 10 years of Donald Trump leading the White House and then the post-White House and now the White House again, people come and go at a pretty high clip there. And so I would be concerned for Andrew in that regard. But in terms of his capacity, his intellect, his work ethic, all of those things, I think he excels.
John, my understanding is that this is the first time in the FBI's history that they've had 2 deputy directors, that there's been 2 people in this position. Like I said, would have to double check on all of that, but that's my understanding. So with this being the case, could Andrew Bailey have turned down this offer? Would that have been a big mistake if he was hoping to advance under this administration?
I don't think he could have turned down this offer.
Yeah.
My understanding is that President Trump called him personally and said, I need you. And when the president calls, it's very hard to answer. Interestingly here, and I would contrast this with Senator Eric Schmidt, who in the interim period, post-election, pre-inauguration, was a very prominent name being floated for Attorney General. And Eric Schmidt proactively came out and said, I will not be Attorney General. And he did that before he was asked by President Trump. And because he did that, he is still a United States Senator from Missouri, doing well in that capacity. And, you know, when you get a call from the president cold and he says, I need you, your country needs you, you can't say no to that.
So even if he's thinking, oh no, this is career suicide, or oh no, as you mentioned, this is a tumultuous administration, this is riskier than becoming a U.S. Senator, he had to take it.
Yes. And I think everybody that has accepted an offer from President Trump to serve has gone in with the belief that they can make things better.
Mm-hmm.
They could persevere. They can improve the circumstance. And, you know, for Andrew's sake, I hope that's the case here.
There is a listener who texts into the show, and I don't think you explicitly said this one way or another, but the listener would like to know if Hanaway, the new attorney general in Missouri, would be more of a MAGA Republican or a traditional Republican that we know.
Well, Catherine's been a movement conservative her entire political career. I don't expect anything different. And I don't know how much MAGA you can inject into the Missouri Attorney General's office. I think what Catherine's going to do is I think she's going to be very professional. I think she's going to surround herself with very strong people. That's been her career history. And I think she'll execute the duties of that office as well as they've ever been executed.
John Hancock, we love talking to you. We did not want to wait until Friday.
Yeah.
We thought this was a good time to do it. So thank you for giving us a few moments here.
It's always a pleasure, guys.
And you are not getting paid for this.
That's what they tell me.
Love you, buddy.
Thank you, John.
See you soon.
John Hancock, political strategist, all-around great guy. We love John Hancock. And yes, he and Michael Kelly sit in with us on the Chris and Amy show every Friday morning from 9 until 10. And it is either highly informative or completely ridiculous. Usually it's a mix of both of those things, and you should listen in. Congratulations, Fred in St. Louis.
Hey, Fred.
Hopefully it's not Fred Bottomer, because that would be illegal. But Fred won the tickets to see the Blues and Wild October 9th at Enterprise Center. It's the opener. And if you missed out today, don't worry. You'll have an opportunity tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday to win. You got to be listening to the Chris and Amy show in order to get your chance to win those Blues tickets.
Hey guys, Kevin Wheeler here. I want to tell you about 213 Complex, which is available at Supplement Superstores. It is the most effective and powerful all-natural weight loss supplement ever developed. Here's what it does for me and what it will do for you. Optimizes thyroid function, which gets your metabolism rocking and rolling, helps you with appetite and craving control. All-day focused energy comes with that, plus the reduced cortisol levels helps you get a better night's sleep. So get out to Supplement Superstores, tell them Kevin Wheeler sent you in. They'll knock 30% off the 213 Complex. Find your location at supplementsuperstores.com.
Dive into adventure this summer at the St. Louis Aquarium's Summer of the Shark. Get face to fin with some of the ocean's most awe-inspiring creatures in shark-themed exhibits, jaw-dropping displays, and interactive experiences for the whole family. Whether you're a fin-tastic fan or just curious, there's hands-on fun and fascinating facts around every corner at the St. Louis Aquarium. Don't miss your chance to make a splash. Plan your visit today at stlouisunionstation.com. That's stlouisunionstation.com.
Calling all future sportscasters. Sharpen your skills and learn from the best of the Missouri Broadcasters Association Sportscasters Forum Tuesday, September 16th in St. Louis. Join Cardinals beat reporters, broadcasters, and the legendary John Rooney, the voice of the Cardinals, for insider sessions on play-by-play, interviewing, reporting, and more. Then cap the day with a Cards-Reds game at Busch Stadium. Open to college students and broadcasting pros. Just $10 for students, lunch, and a game ticket. Space is limited. Register by September 2nd at MissouriBroadcasters.org.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at LanceDruryLaw.com.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
Now that I'm a dad, I can't stop thinking about what would happen to my kids if something happened to me, like losing the house or not affording college.
Yeah, that used to keep me up at night too. It's why I finally got life insurance from Ethos. It's 100% online. No medical exams, just a few health questions. I got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day.
I never realized it was that simple. Get your free quote at ethos.com/life. That's ethos.com/life.
Rates may vary. Bill monthly. Sample rate 10-year term life policy for a 35-year-old healthy non-smoking male.
This Labor Day weekend, we're celebrating Bob's Discount Furniture's 200th store milestone with the entire Bob's family across the country. For more than 30 years, we've believed everyone deserves the home they love. That's why we brought our everyday low prices on furniture, mattresses, and more to over 200 locations from coast to coast and counting. Not to mention free treats for the whole family in our cafes. Celebrate Bob's Discount Furniture's 200 store milestone this Labor Day weekend.
Oh, my Bob! The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Are you an MSNBC guy, Ronch?
I'm not really a guy of any of the networks. I think I watch CNN the most because it's least. I know people are like CNN's super left. It's not. They've got a good mix of voices
it's different
on it.
than MSNBC, which is very left leaning, but it also does
and very outwardly.
Outwardly.
MSNBC is very outwardly left. Like Fox News is very clearly right.
Well, it's not left anymore because it doesn't exist.
Well,
it kind of exists. So MSNBC is distancing itself, or I should say NBC is distancing itself from MSNBC. It is now MS Now, which stands for My Source for News, Opinions, and the World. It's a total rebrand. It hopes to create distance between, it says, the Liberal News Network, home to Rachel Maddow, Ari Melber, and Nicole Wallace, and NBC Universal, which owns NBC.
But it is separating completely from NBC Universal, which is why they're doing this.
Yeah, they're dropping the NBC iconic peacock logo. And again, this whole spinoff, I don't know, it's kind of weird, but the whole spinoff started back in November. And it is, like you said, separating from the NBC universe. I've actually never called it the NBC universe, like the Marvel universe. But that includes like the Golf Channel, E and CNBC, which is turning into a new company called Versant or Versant? Versant?
I don't know.
At any rate, I don't know. MS Now, I feel like, is going to fail. I don't
because it's not attached to a network.
Yeah, there's a cachet with NBC. Whether you like NBC or not, there's a cachet. MS Now feels like it's just going to be middling. I don't think MS Now is a great name.
I don't know that will matter.
You don't think
I
there's
think if the same personalities are on it, whatever ratings they got, they're probably going to continue to get, especially if they're in the same place.
But here's the thing. We saw this backfire with HBO Max when they turned into just Max, and everyone said, what are you doing? HBO, that's the cachet. That's the swagger is your HBO. And they went just to Max. I want to say it was a year, less than a year, and they've got the HBO back because they realized.
Do they?
Yep, they got the HBO back.
I feel like a logo still says Max when I click on it. I don't know about that, but maybe you're right. I haven't noticed it, and I don't remember them making any sort of declaration about it. But I would say that if you're doing, if you've got the same personalities, you're in the same location, you're still starting with an MS. I don't know that you're going to be hurt because there is a huge difference between HBO and Max because there used to be a Cinemax, or is there still a Cinemax? I don't know.
Started in July. HBO
It went
picked
back
up
to? Oh, so it just-
Max became HBO Max.
Yeah, which I mean, I agree they should have kept it.
Yeah.
But it's MS Now is not
So-
totally different from MSNBC.
Yeah, I don't know. It just doesn't have the same brand recognition and swagger. So that means then, because during the Olympics, all the weird daytime sports like curling and badminton would be on MSNBC during the day. Does that mean they're no longer an Olympic brand?
So this Versant or whatever it is also going to have CNBC, E! Entertainment, Golf Channel, Oxygen, Sci-Fi, and USA Network. And the digital outlets of Fandango, Golf Now, Rotten Tomatoes, and Sports Engine. I'm not familiar with Sports Engine. So they're all under the same umbrella.
Those were all Olympic channels. I think even USA Today.
Then that will probably continue. CNBC does carry Olympics, right?
And
So
MSNBC.
I'm sure they're going to continue that, I would think.
Because where else would NBC place
Maybe
all
not.
of
I
those
don't know.
sports?
Great question.
Not their biggest deal, but it is the only time I really watch MSNBC and CNBC is for the Olympics.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how it goes. It's going to be some time, I would think, before we know for sure, but it is an interesting development. Amy, you want to do this tomorrow at 9 again?
Probably.
We'll come back tomorrow, 9 o'clock. We'll go 9 to noon. We'll have some great times. We'll play some great oldies and some new stuff too.
Oldies?
I don't know. Wasn't that was it a Good Times, Great Oldies, something like that? One of the radio stations in town.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think it was.
We are the oldies.
No, come on. We're young as hell. All right. So we're coming
Which
back
is very
tomorrow.
old.
We're coming back. It's like
Hell's
forever.
been around forever.
Coming back tomorrow, 9 o'clock. Thanks for listening to this show. Anything you missed, wherever you get your podcasts or the Odyssey app. But coming up next, it is the Gas House Gang. Oliver Marmol is on the show for about the next 30 minutes or so on 104.1 FM KMOX.